Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 20 of Passion Project, the variety show that encourages everyone in the speedrun community to showcase the projects that they've been working on. My name is Amber Cyprin. I will be your host tonight, and I encourage everyone in chat out there, if you have a speedrun project to showcase, you should submit it to the show. Whether it is your favorite current game to grind runs for, or maybe it's a new category. We're starting out strong tonight. Maybe you finished a task or there's a randomizer or bingo you like to play. If you can name it, I want it on the show. So submit to the show using the !passion command in the chat and following the link to my submission form. So before we get started with the run that we have planned for tonight, I do have a couple of announcements. Let me remind you all that prize submissions are live for Awesome Games Done Quick 2024. If you are a crafty person or you have a unique gaming prize that you would like to submit, go to gamesdonequick.com for more information, and go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to learn about our shows and see what's coming up this week. And of course, if you missed out on any of our hotfix shows like Mercy Kill, or maybe you can't be here for the whole show for Diddy Kong Racing, check out our VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. So last month here on Passion Project, we had an excellent Diddy Kong Racing randomizer race showcased by Obio and Dollarben, during which I brought up that the game had a Nintendo DS. Oh god, not a 3DS port. It was kind of a remake. I was then told that a certain Brandino, who has become known for running various DS and 3DS games over the last year or two, also runs the DS version of Diddy Kong Racing. So naturally, of course, I needed to bring him on the show so he can show us just how different the DS version is from its N64 predecessor. Thank you so much, Brandino, for being with me tonight. How are you doing?
Hey, morning. I'm doing pretty good. I am ready to play some Diddy Kong Racing DS. Like you mentioned, I play a lot of DS, 3DS games. I don't seek out handheld versions of console games. It just happens to be what I end up playing a lot of the time. So I'm known for Sonic Lost World, Sonic Generations, Lego Lord of the Rings, 3DS even. I do a lot of stuff. Luigi's Mansion, 3DS remake. So shout out to all those communities and stuff. And I'm here today with Diddy Kong Racing DS, and I'm really excited to show that off. So I'm going to go ahead and count us down.
Sounds good to me.
I'm going to start when I hit adventure here in 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Good luck, have fun.
I always forget that I have to choose my character right after I start the run. I'm so used to the cutscene starting, and I forget there. But you will notice that we're gonna play as everybody's favorite Whizpig today. One of the first major differences you're gonna see right off the bat is character selection. Whizpig has worse handling than TT, but it actually gets used to our advantage because he can do these really powerful power slides in the car around edges and stuff and around corners, and that will give him equivalent to boost speed, basically. It's really useful tech. It's used everywhere in car, and he has really high speed, but just poor handling, basically. So he's not a bad alternative to TT. It's just some stuff like being in the plane. You just can't go for the same strats you would as TT, because TT handles like butter in plane. But Whizpig, it almost feels like there is delay on your movement. And another thing that's different about this too, I guess, is that you have Whizpig and Taj. They're identical characters. You could be either of them during the run, and it doesn't matter, which is, I think that's really cool. TT is still used in RTA plane runs, and I believe RTA hover runs, and in plane hover ILs. But generally, Whizpig, Taj take over RTA categories because their car is. If you're doing any category that combines car with another vehicle, they are faster. And so this cutscene that I was talking through is one of the first things that you'll see is also different. And then the cutscene that you do recognize, I'm actually just going to soft reset straight through because it's faster than actually watching it. But this game is very unique among racing games for having an adventure mode in this world that you explore. And that's what we're going to be doing as part of this run, is exploring the adventure mode. And that includes having challenges with Taj here, and also we're gonna need to buy vehicle upgrades and stuff later and collect balloons around the island. And we gotta... Oh my god, it's an RNG amount of time sometimes for this lamp to work. Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on.
So naturally...
Okay.
So naturally, it being
silly.
a DS game, and an early one at that, naturally you have to include every single possible gimmick that the DS can offer, including, and not limited to, the...
The microphone is used quite a bit, and we
yeah.
get to use the touchscreen a lot. You'll see
Yep.
the touchscreen come into play way more often than it needs to. But here's the first instance of power sliding. We're going to get actually a lot faster with this as we get more vehicle upgrades across the run. But we still start out really fast with it. And you can see we're kind of at like a near 90-degree angle with where we want to go. That's how you know you're doing an efficient power slide. And we need to be careful. We can't hold one direction for too long or you will spin the car out.
Yeah, WizPig,
Nice.
that's not how driving works. Like,
I think that's perfectly sound driving. I do this in my own car. And that balloon is never given to you at a good enough angle to grab. You always have to back up a little bit and readjust for it.
Thanks, Taj.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we can finally begin here at Ancient Lake. So here we get to see the vehicle startup mechanic for car, which is I'm gonna rev this wheel.
With the touchscreen, of course.
We're doing that for 2.5 hours. And another big difference here, like I said, I mentioned vehicle upgrades. Those who played N64 will remember that you can collect bananas, and bananas will actually increase your vehicle's top speed. But in this case, we have coins scattered across the map in a lot of the same places that bananas used to be. And the function that coins serve is that you can collect them across multiple levels and the whole of the adventure mode. Oh, wow. I didn't think that was going to work. I veered right just at the right time. So anyway, we're going to need to collect a lot of coins, and we're actually going to be exploring the island for coins in a bit here, in a section that resembles nothing like you've seen on N64. The island looks a little bit different than a lot of places, and even this level looks different. There's this tunnel section and this bridge now, and this tunnel section too. It's all... A lot of the levels have minor changes like this. And something that's worth mentioning... Oh, thanks, Dixie Kong stole my blue balloon. One thing that's worth mentioning, for people that are familiar with N64, is that on N64 you can actually let go of the A button or let go of the accelerator, I suppose, when hitting a zipper or using a blue balloon, and doing that will increase the amount of speed that you get from it. Now, that is still true in this game, but only for zippers. Blue balloons put you at a set speed every time. You can still use them for faster strats, but because they're not as fast as they could be, sometimes we're going to be avoiding blue balloons, because it's just going to be faster to do our own strats around them, because we kind of go out of our way otherwise. And that was Ancient Lake to start. Ooh. I always hear a little bit too much going into that door. Well, this is Fossil Canyon now. This level has some interesting geometry and plays very strange compared to N64, because the way that water affects your car feels so much different. So in N64, you do this strat where you kind of boost to the edge and you can avoid that entire pond. But in this game, we have no choice but to hit the pond. So we kind of want to hit it towards the edge so that we don't lose a lot of speed, because you have to drive through water, and it is just miserable. The car can barely move. There are levels that have water all over them later on that have the car in them, and it's going to be very imperative not to fall into the water, or it's like miserable. The car cannot drive through water very well at all. And rather than take that boost this time, I'm going to try to gather some coins around the lake here to see what's left. We're gonna want about 25, or not 25, we're gonna want 25, 30 coins, I suppose, before we leave here after doing Jungle Falls. That'd be nice, at least.
I like how there's a random Diddy Kong portrait on the wall in this course.
Oh yeah, okay, that's another DS integration thing. But you can draw little pictures and stuff in the games. Oh my god, speaking of Diddy Kong. This level is pretty bad for it, but in general, the computers are going to be out to get you for most of the game. They don't rubber band like your typical Mario Kart computers do, but if you're near them and there are items around, they will hit you. It's almost a given. Oh, and a big change, a huge change, really, that something that somebody who would play the game normally probably wouldn't notice this, but as a speedrunner, it becomes very apparent. But your items, when you collect an item, if you have, say, a green balloon, you can only pick up other green balloons to stack the green balloon. Mm-hmm. You can't pick up a blue balloon without expending the green balloon. In N64, balloons will just overwrite each other like nobody's business. So that's a huge change mechanically. That becomes a problem with when you collect stuff like green balloons, because that'll drop an oil slick, and we have chances to run over our own oil slick because there's not much you can do sometimes if you want to take the balloons. Oh, nice. Grabbing all those coins on the bridge here. And we're going to go for a drift here. We're actually going to skip this boost because, like I said, we can surpass boost speed. And normally I'd wrap around a little bit tighter, but we want to grab coins inside the Dino Skeleton. 24 is a good number. We can probably grab 1 or 2 more before the end of this level. And then we get to go to the coin gambling machine on the beach, which you guys will see. It's very fun.
Yeah, one thing that is different that got brought up during the randomizer race last month was the fact that and this is even how it was brought up at all, the DS version was brought up at all, the the red balloons usually go with single missile, homing missile, and then 10 single missiles in a pack, and that was the upgrade line in the N64 version. In the DS version, I believe that's reverse, where it's single missile, 10-pack single missile. Oh lord.
It's okay. Yeah, sometimes you get stuck on geometry and the car just like refuses to work with you. It can happen. Not a big deal though. We were pretty far ahead by the end. Yeah, they swapped the order of the items like that. It's really strange.
I mean, it makes sense because the homing missile's kind of OP.
Yeah, it would make sense. Yeah, I think it makes sense on a mechanical perspective. It's just, I guess it's just funny. Like, there's just a lot of changes like that. Any remake like this, where it's like any change like that will be under scrutiny because it's like, why change that though? And here's another change actually. They reversed the order in which you do the challenges with Taj. Normally it was car, hover, plane. Now it's car, plane, hover. And they took away 2 balloons that you can find around the island and replaced them with 2 new Taj challenges. And they changed the route of the plane one entirely because the island's a little different now. So instead of the plane one having the same route as the hover, we do this interesting one where we wrap around behind the waterfall where the entrance to Dragon is. Now I gotta be careful here because if we go too far outside the zone of these little checked tokens, then Taj will end the challenge and we have to go find him to restart it. And the time where it's most dangerous to do that is leaving the waterfall at the end of the lap, because you can get, like I said, Wizpig, his handling in plane isn't too good. You can get a lot of mustard out of that turn and just absolutely lose it. It does feel like there's some delay on his plane, but right now, actually, we don't have the full speed upgrade on plane, so it's a little more manageable, but as the plane gets faster with more upgrades, it's going to become more noticeable. No. That's okay, we're still pretty far ahead. Oh, okay, where is it? Sometimes, when that happens, sometimes when stuff like that happens, it can be really disorienting, because I'm not used to, like, having to stop and, like, fly around and grab a ledge below me. The plane handles incredibly. One thing you'll notice too is that the plane does not have a barrel roll system like it does in N64. So a lot of plane flight is just going to be optimizing our lines more than anything, and hitting zippers where possible, of course.
Yeah, does it ever get an upgrade for barrel rolls, or is that just like not a thing?
Not a thing at all, actually. It's been removed entirely, which is I guess it makes sense, like they wanted to simplify it a little bit for DS. But it is an unfortunate loss. Like barrel rolls is one of the coolest things plane could do. All right, now for some fun DS integration. We're gonna use the touchscreen So some of the balloons, like I said, the game used to have balloons you could find around the island, and it still does. We're gonna go grab one. It's integrated in the best way possible, and also the invisible wall surrounding this thing is ridiculous. I have yet to not smack into it. Okay. So here's this balloon, and it's all frozen, which we need to. If only we could back up the plane. So what we're going to do is use the stylus to drag it all the way to the ocean. This is how you want to, this is what you do in full speed run. You deal with the touchscreen, and we want to get it in a nice acute angle there. And I'd love to just fly over this wall, but like I said, this wall is really mean, so I'm just going to go down like as if I was in a car. I've had too many failed attempts trying to get over this wall. It's actually kind of annoying. Okay, so we need to wait. The balloon is currently making its way to the shores of the beach, and we need to go grab ourselves some coins. And we can do that from this magical new area that's been added.
Oh, I remember this.
So we need to make some beautiful drawings here. So I need to draw a circle. There we go. That's a lot of coins too. Yeah, that's a good amount to start. So we can do this 5 times, and we're gonna need to do it 5 or 4 depending on how much it gives us. But that's a good way to start. That's still a lot. I'd say this is great. Okay, this part always worries me because you can kind of get screwed. I think it gives you anywhere between 10 to 20 or something like that. But we're getting like the max amount per right now for sure. This is really helpful.
Well, while you're drawing circles, someone's asking who's the best overall character in the game, and I remember, at least in the N64 version, if you have TT unlocked, TT is the best overall character in the game. From what I understand, the adventure mode speedrun in the DS version uses either Wizpig or Taj, who are basically mirrored versions of each other with the same stats. And then I think there's a lot of RTA, like IL runs, individual level runs, that use TT either in the plane or in the hovercraft. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, Taj and Wizpig's car handling is so far superior to TT's that they are much worth it to use, even... Oh my... How was that not a balloon shape? But they are much more worth it to use, even with... Okay. That was a beautiful balloon shape. There we go. Okay, first try on the drawing of the balloon trick. That's one of the hardest tricks in any speedrun. That's crazy stuff there. And there's that balloon from earlier. Anyway, so yeah, Taj and Wizpig's overall car speed dwarfs just about any other advantage that TT would have in plane. There are plane categories that can plane categories like all planes or all plane levels and all hover levels that use TT. But overall, Taj and Wizpig are going to dominate any category that combines car with another vehicle. And so here's another change. We're going to buy our first upgrade, Race Bodywork. This is going to increase our top speed a little bit on all of the vehicles. We're never going to fully upgrade Hover, so this is about as fast as Hover is going to get. Hover is the least used vehicle across the adventure mode, so it doesn't really matter. And luckily it's not used late game enough that we would need the speed boost, really. Alright, we just tricked out all 3 vehicles, and now Taj wants to challenge us one more time, this time in the hovercraft. So this time we can talk about the hovercraft, because this is probably the most different vehicle compared to N64. N64 fans will note that the hovercraft in N64 has to snake a lot of the time, like a left and right motion to get a lot of speed, because its most valuable asset is its turning speed while holding R. In this game, what's really fast in hover is to bounce. So I'm actually pressing the R with a relative rhythm to gain a lot of speed. It also helps you maintain speed. Like when you're using a boost or you're using a zipper at full speed, you actually want to bounce once before grabbing the accelerator again, because it can like let you draw out your speed just a little bit longer. At top speed, it like helps you maintain all your speed and can even like boost you a little bit faster than driving straight forward. And we have to do it at these weird angles. You'll see that again, like with the car drifting, we're kind of like nearly perpendicular to what way we actually want to race, which is just very silly.
Wizpig never keeping his eyes on the road.
No,
water
not
in this
once.
case.
No, not once. He has no need to. And another thing you're going to see here, sometimes you got to make these big hop turns because otherwise we're going to smack into a wall. All your speed is kind of, I don't know I don't know how to say it, but it's like, it's pointed diagonally sort of away from you, like the way that I'm doing, which is why I have to make these weird jumps. So you can't, it's like, you don't want to move straight forward with the hover. You want to redirect your speed kind of this way. It's really strange. It is absolutely the most technical vehicle in this run, and is the least like its N64 counterpart, which I think adds to the confusion. But it's pretty cool. Hover's a pretty deep vehicle. I was talking to Leah, who is the GOAT of this game. She has basically all the time trial world records. I believe she's been beaten on Ancient Lake by Lionheart, who's also the person that discovered power sliding. She was saying that just about every character probably has a viability in Hover somewhere that we could find, and I would probably agree, like, we just haven't seen it yet. This game it's obviously existed a lot less time than N64, so who even knows? It's actually been tasked a little bit by a tasker named Paychuck. He's tasked several of the levels, including some cool tricks that are only possible in tasks, like this level we just entered, Hot Top Volcano. So, again, N64 fans will remember that there is a full out of bounds that you do here, which we actually can't do on this version. There is a task-only out of bounds, but plain out of bounds, although possible in this game, work very differently from N64. Where like in N64, they usually like get a lot of speed and like barrel roll out of bounds somewhere where it's like weak seams or where they can like get around collision. But in this game, you do some weird stuff where you stop, you park your plane on a ledge, then you let it fall down so that you're perpendicular to the ground, and then you go and smack into a wall, and then you'll go out of bounds. It's really quite technically difficult, and also is very punishing if you miss, because you stopped and you slowed down your vehicle. So, unfortunately, I don't go for any of the plane out of bounds. The easiest one you can do is in Fossil Canyon, and we will not be doing that level in plane across this run at all. But that's a really funny out of bounds. You just like smack into a wall and a log pushes TT out. It's the absolute easiest out of all of them.
It seems like so from what I recall from what the runners during our showcase last month said about the N64 version is that the N64 version still has discoveries being made. So like you had said, this version came out in 2007 and has been out for almost a full decade less than the N64 version. Probably has been speedrun significantly less as well. So that means that there's still a lot of potential behind this version of the game.
100%. We don't even know the depths of this game goes yet. There could be so much there. I think that's what's cool. You know, even I was thinking like games like Sonic 2 got major skips in 2023. Like there's the history of every game is being constantly written. It's really cool. And here's our friend Tricky, who we cannot skip in this version, unlike N64, which, better or worse, because the skip on N64 is a literal 50-50, whereas on this version we have a very consistent just drive around the mountain.
Yep.
You'd think with the shape of the mountain that we could do some cool drifts, but you can't really. It's not shaped well enough, and the obstacles are placed just annoyingly that you can't really set up good drifts without like getting a good drift and then having to stop, slow down, and get around a corner really strangely, because there are some really weird corners here. So all the basic tech of this tricky fight is just going to be grabbing the blue balloons where possible to boost up hills and save on our speed, because we do lose speed going uphill. So the blue balloons are going to help negate that. And I know you can stack balloons, But you'll see there that I opted to do 2 single blue balloons instead, because that's generally also faster than using a double stacked balloon. Like, 2 blue balloons chained together will go slightly farther than 2 blue balloons stacked to do a blue second level boost. So, like, lots of little optimizations and stuff like that, some of which come from my time playing N64.
Blue balloon is like easily my least favorite tongue twister.
Yeah, it's so hard not to twist the knots about it. So here's a huge change from N64.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of the multiplayer levels, we're going to be racing TT in tracks that he kind of guides us to design. There's banger music in all of these. These are some of my favorite tracks in the whole game. And also, good RNG so far. So all of the balloons are, like, the entire track layout, even though it's the same shape, the layout itself is randomized, up to and including the balloons, how many there are, where they're placed, and if you get any blue balloons at all. So this is pretty bountiful. And if you guys watch the bottom screen during this fight, or during this race, I suppose, PT is the yellow dot, and you're going to see him several times. This isn't the only time we're going to be racing him. He cannot stay on these tracks. It doesn't matter how simple the turn is. Sometimes we'll watch him just drive straight off for reasons that you will not understand. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, why is he so bad? During all of these Wish races, just keep an eye on PT. He will fall off multiple times as the race goes on and he gets further and further behind. I don't know why he's so bad at driving, but he is.
He looks like the tracking of the GPS on like websites where you can order food and track the driver. Because I've definitely watched many a driver basically drive through buildings according to that tracking map.
That's exactly how I would compare it. That's an amazing way to do it. Yeah, also, this is one of the best track layouts I've gotten so far. You really want to avoid having a lot of hills, and this is not like a ton of hills. It's a good bit of downhill. Yeah, this is a pretty solid track layout for track 1. We're gonna be doing this 4 times. Is TD about to drive off again? He's so bad.
There was a little, you got him with an oil slick earlier. And his little, like, new to this version of the game is that it shows a little reaction image when a NPC or yourself, like, gets either a hit on you or is hit by you. And the angry TT just needs to be a Twitch emote. Yeah,
TT's a very expressive guy. I love him. So here's, once again, a very big change, and maybe the most controversial change of this version. Instead of coin races, we have balloon touch. What do you do in this challenge? You pop the balloons, you grab the coins.
Yeah, you're like, you're drive-by popping. Like, what is this nonsense on Taj's carpet?
This is such a strange addition, and one of the things that doesn't help this is how, like, okay, I'm sure you're seeing it, but like the camera moves very awkwardly because I'm using the touch screen to both pop balloons, grab coins, and move the camera. And so sometimes you have misinputs where you went to pop a balloon or grab a coin, you move the camera, or vice versa. And they just absolutely, you propel through these levels, and I can barely react, even though I am somebody who plays this game constantly. I cannot react to popping all these balloons sometimes. Because it's like how it got, like, this is a game made for children. It's just bizarre. The choices made here.
Oh my god.
I
remember getting to these challenges and I'm like, I don't, like, I think I played this one when I was in high school. And I was just like, I don't think I like this version. Was like my reaction.
I think I must have blocked these out from my memory because I did not know that these. I played this game as a child and got up to like Sherbet Island or Dragon Forest.
Which is pretty far.
Yeah, like you have to have at least done one of these. I do not remember these at all. I must have blocked it out because I didn't like them.
Nice tree poke there.
Yeah. Sometimes I do it on purpose for fun, but those trees eat your inputs. And again, look at how quickly we suddenly can't get some of these balloons. This level moves so fast. not like this game is weirdly difficult in places where it's like, isn't this a children's game? Like, I feel like most kids would be really frustrated by some of the ways that this works.
Someone's saying it seems better than the silver coin challenges. I strongly disagree. Unless it's Adventure 2 silver coin challenges, heck those were awful. I've done those once and I never want to do them again.
These are certainly a thing that you can put in a game. I'll say that. This is certainly a way to speedrun Diddy Kong Racing. So the silver coin challenge is worth noting. They still exist in this version, but it's only as like a time trial mode or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just like a separate menu away from the game. So it's like they're in the game. They have them, but they're not at the same time.
They're not part of the regular gameplay. They're like, hey, look, what if we just made you use the touchscreen in this really awkward FPS mode? Like this rail shooter mode.
We were talking about it before the run started, but there's games like Phantom Hourglass, which are very DS gimmicky, but I think utilize it very well and know just when not to take it too far. And there are games like this where it's like, oh, you can tell they had a lot of fun doing like DS integration, but was it worth it? Is this what you wanted to do in the end? We only need bronze here, worth noting. I'm just popping as many balloons as I can for fun. But again, it's worth noting that I do these challenges all the time, and I very rarely get gold on ones that I don't consistently get gold on. And the 100% category of this game requires gold on all of these, which is why nobody really has run it very often. So, yeah.
Someone in chat says... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the camera's very wonky. I was looking at a comment in chat.
Yeah, someone else in chat is going that they've never played either version of the game, so to them, this looks like a very novel use of the touchscreen. And like on paper, sure, absolutely, I think this would be really cool. In fact, if this were not a remake of Diddy Kong Racing on the N64, where there was a perfectly suitable silver coin challenge mode. That just let you race more, this would be really cool. I don't think I would have complained, other than like complaining about some of the controls, about how like everything on the touchscreen tends to just result in moving the camera rather than popping balloons or dragging coins into the bag.
Yeah, if you see random camera movements, it's because I tried to do something in the game said move the camera.
Yep. And yeah, like, if there wasn't already something else here in this spot, like, I wouldn't complain as much. Yeah, if you could move the camera with the D-pad or the face buttons if you're left-handed, because, hi, I'm left-handed. Yeah, no, like, I think that would maybe be better.
They needed that Kid Icarus Uprising Circle Pad Pro.
Oh, God.
That's what they needed.
I forgot that game had the Circle Pad Pro if you're left-handed.
Well, the good news is we're done with that. We gotta race Tricky one more time, and then we can get back to the racing. But I guess this is also racing. It's just that, like, boss races and, like, normal races, I, like, separate them. So, this is very much the same as the first race. Sometimes the boss races will, like, remove blue balloons and stuff, but I'm pretty sure, actually, all the same ones are available. The pretty much the same track layout. Maybe they might remove some of the red balloons. But yeah, it's largely the same race the second time around. It's interesting to see this because N64 skips this entirely. And also, the N64 version has like a skip that like the developers intended, where in the middle of the mountain you can like boost through a tunnel to get to the other side faster, which they removed in this version. Like, why? Why? I don't understand.
Yeah, Tricky 2 in the DS apparently has just a few more trees, and that's about it.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Which it is looking like there are just more trees and bushes, and that's... Okay, cool.
More trees and bushes. This will certainly be a huge challenge, and it's over. Wow, that was tough. Thanks, Tricky. All the boss races, partially because we're a really fast character, and also just because of the vehicle upgrades. But some of the boss races are really not that difficult, except for like Wizpig 1 and 2, maybe Smokey 2 a little bit. But here we're gonna end off Dino Domain here with our trophy race, which is just a general like win
Grand Prix.
Yeah, win 3 laps. We're gonna grab more coins as well we can here.
I assume we still have more upgrades to buy, right?
Yep, we're gonna be upgrading car and plane both one more time. Car we're gonna be upgrading after we leave here, and then plane we're not gonna be upgrading again until right before we enter Dino, because that's when plane starts to see heavy use, because that's when you have Smokey, and that's when you have like windmill planes and stuff, like really long plane-centric tracks, and then of course plane's gonna play a huge role in FFL later on. So yeah, plane and car. Car is obviously our most used vehicle across the run. So as soon as we can upgrade car to the fullest, we want to do that.
So someone's asking, you can't backfire items in Diddy Kong Racing, can you? It's like, technically no. Like you can't fire the missiles backwards. The green versions, the green balloons are the backfiring items. So like your oil slick, your mines, your bubbles, and then your red ones are kind of like your red and green shells, except they can only go forward.
And this game adds an extra mechanic with the items where there's a little blue coin that's around the track that you can pick up, and then if you have that coin on you and you grab an item like, say, the oil slick, and you activate the coin, then you will get this weird, it's like a coin upgraded version. Every item has like a coin version that does something. The oil slick version is to turn into a bunch of fake rareware coins that you drop that explode on people that grab them. I don't know what the other ones are off the top of my head. Unfortunately, the boost one is not very useful at all. I think it's like some kind of like automated boost for a second, but it saves like no time at all. And I think can actively lose time because it tries to place you on a specific like rail in order to be used, kind of like a bullet bill or something, but like slower. So it's not a very useful one to use, and it would be the only one that we'd really want to use, so we don't do it. I think, if I'm wrong, unless I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the upgrade for rocket is just from 5 rockets to 10 rockets. I could be wrong, but some part of me says that is what it is. It's been a minute since I've actually done it, because obviously we never do it. Because it's the last lap, I'll go ahead and drop that.
Yes, you can actually get useful items.
There's only one blue balloon that's useful here, and it's kind of hard to grab. I try to get it in this tunnel here. It's kind of interesting. Some levels are absolutely stacked with blue balloons, and some levels have none. Yeah, so that one's really hard to get in like a maneuver, but that's okay. I really like a change on this version is that we do this drift around the bottom of the track here, which is really cool. And worth noting that maintaining your drift direction while in the air can be really difficult. If you saw me just swerve there, it's because I landed and it kind of like was holding a bad direction when I landed. It's really strange. Luckily that worked out. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that I let go of some drifts like more prematurely, is because like the aerial version of a drift is so much harder to maintain. Once you land, it's like your angle when you get onto the ground. Oh, yeah, I saw that coming. That's okay. Now we're just going to drive through the water for a second. Nice.
Because turning is impossible with Wizpig.
It's like one of the reasons he's so fast is the power slide, but that partially just comes from poor handling. So it's like a monkey's paw type thing, you know? It's like
Wizpig giveth,
he's
Wizpig
fast.
taketh away.
Yeah. Luckily, Wizpig's at least fighting Wizpig. I'm glad he's joining in on the fight against Wizpig. We needed an ally like Wizpig.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Wizpig races are gonna look a little goofy because you've got little Wizpig racing against big Wizpig.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again, type of stuff.
Exactly.
And it's funny because Taj has like a couple lines where he'll acknowledge that he's talking to himself, but Wizpig doesn't. And I think it would just be so much funnier if the other bosses in Wizpig acknowledged that like it was Wizpig, but they don't, unfortunately. Okay, one last level here, Hot Top Volcano, and then we're done in Dino. Then we get to cool off. on Snowflake Mountain, which is also a nice little festive track. Rareware
yeah.
devs they loved their Christmas levels. I swear, they went hard on that stuff.
There are a lot of people who have come in and have said, yo, I loved playing this game as a kid, and it's like, because the DS is so old now, I can't tell if they mean the N64 version, which a couple of folks have mistaken this for the N64 version, or if they actually mean the DS version. Because we're finally at the point where that could be a statement someone makes in Israel.
I got it for Easter the year it came out. I can't remember how old I was. Obviously, I must have been like 5th or 6th grade or something. I cannot tell you though. But that's when I played it a long, long time ago. And then I didn't know much about the N64 version until I stumbled across the speedrun community. I speedran N64 for a while. And then once I got a hold of DS Capture, I took a look and decided I wanted to run this game because I really enjoyed running the N64. And I still actually really like this game a lot. It's obviously a smaller, jankier version of N64, but I like it a lot. It has its quirks. It's really fun. I could say that about most of the handheld versions of console games that I speedrun, but they all have their reasons to exist, and it's fun to take a look at them and speedrun them. Especially having like the card and like the ability to do that, because this game is very, it's not on like Wii Virtual Console or anything. You can't really, unless you have the cartridge, you can't really do anything to play it. Alright, that's Dino Domain done, and the signpost gains its first picture of WizPig. You're going to need 4 of those as we complete each world. We always start in a position where we have to back up from the trophy. It's kind of weird. Alright. Back to the overworld we go, because we got vehicle upgrades we need to buy. Because car is about to get a lot faster with more powerful power slides. Alright, let's see how long the lamp takes.
How can I help?
Oh my god.
That was actually fast, kind of.
That's fast compared to what it did earlier. It is
Yeah.
taking me, on average, much longer than it normally would today. Okay, so here's what we're doing for car. We're going to grab special body work and air. I believe you can grab air A or B, but I've just been grabbing air B for so long now that I feel like I have to grab air B. It's just like a thing. But yeah, air B, you can see we now have like this tailpipe on the back of the car, but we're going to go much faster. It's going to be a huge change. All of the vehicles have the same type of upgrades, so we're going to get air B for plane as well. And speaking of plane, we're going to change to plane because the area we're going to go to requires a plane to get there. And that would be Snowflake Mountain. Which also some of the best music in the game, for sure, right here. And there's a new track because a feature of this game. So on N64, every world but Dino had at least one track that repeated a musical track from another track in the same area. And in this game, they added a remix track for a lot of stuff so that you get a remix track in levels that would normally repeat music, which is really, really cool. And so the levels that they added new music to are really good. I think the new songs fit in very well. But this area isn't one of them. We got our classic Frosty Village song here, which is, I just love Frosty Village. It's probably my favorite song in this game.
It's very good.
Just an absolute festive jam. And we get some really cool drifts now. I messed up a drift at the beginning here, but what I want to do instead is grab this blue balloon and hit this. Oh my god, Bumper!
Oh, Bumper with this oil slick!
And then another thing is while he's flashing from the hit, the car will swerve if you try turning a lot. So we have to wait until he's no longer flashing in order to be able to really move the car again. Bumper's so rude for that, but I can't be mad because this level is one of the biggest offenders for enemies just absolutely littering the track with garbage. Like, you're lucky to get out of here alive. I unfortunately have to dump that one, but I put it in the spot that hopefully somebody will run into. If not, that's going to be a fun surprise when we come back to it. Oh, and I guess this is another change too. The way we approach this entire village section is different. Because the snow doesn't slow you down like it does on N64, we can do this cool double zipper strat straight into this one. Oh, looks like Bumper is yelling at us, so I guess he hit into the oil slick I put down. That's a fun little thing they added, but like enemies like interact with you a little bit more in the menus whenever you're doing things in the game. So they curse at you whenever they hit items that you throw, and then they laugh at you whenever you hit items that they throw. And then if it's like towards the end of the race, and like you're challenging somebody for first place, then like they'll do a little like head-to-head like headshots. It's really fun. Okay, gotta remember to grab the key here. This is Snowball Valley. This is like the shortest level in Snowflake Mountain, but also we have to make sure we grab the key to unlock the wish race here. And it's a rather difficult key to grab because of how short this level is. Like, if we get behind, I might have to restart the level, and because once we have the key, we don't need to worry. But I don't want to get too far behind. Oh, really good key grab.
Yeah, that was a good line right into that key.
And we're in second, but we're about to catch up, so that's pretty ideal there. That key is the most annoying one. Actually, no, that's a lie. The most annoying one is Crescent Island.
Yeah, I definitely remember Crescent Island just being super obnoxious.
But
at least in N64.
The other two are fine. They're put in like places that make sense, but this one and Crescent Island are just like, why?
It's like, why do I have to actively go drive into a wall off the track?
And yeah, with Crescent Island, it's like, why do I need to drive in the water? It's a horrible idea.
I like when you're coming out of the power slide, like, because the AI takes over for the post-race controls, and just usually takes you off-road or into a wall or obstacle.
Yeah, it's so funny. The AI has no idea what to do with all that speed. Yeah, so I just watched the replay back on the stream of him smacking into the wall after I was done. It's great. We have Everfrost Peak here, which is one of the best plane tracks for sure. And an interesting change here is that Everfrost Peak had a car track in N64. It was all three, car, hover, and plane. But in this version, what the car would normally run on was frozen ice below me, but in this version, the ice is melted, and it is now water, and it's only hover accessible, which is an interesting change. I kind of missed Everfrost Peak car because it was a really sick track, but this is still one of the best plane tracks. You can just get so much speed here and constant boost chains in a way that most of the levels can't. This level makes big use of zippers where possible because, like I mentioned earlier, like zippers are where we're gonna get more speed out of letting go of A than you normally get. So that's like the key to going super fast is good management around zippers. There's a cool double zipper strat here, but I unfortunately missed it. There's a ground zipper right before that one we just hit in the air. But still, there's a cool bunch of ones here at the end, and also we need to grab this balloon. And another thing is if you want to use a chain together, a balloon, and a zipper, what you need to do is let the zipper speed run out to its max before you use the balloon, because interrupting the zipper speed with the balloon will it's like a net loss, because the zipper speed is faster on average than the balloon speed. There it is. That's a double strat there. That's a really cool one. You want to make sure we still grab coins here, but it's not going to be a huge issue because the next time we need to grab an upgrade is going to be after Sherbet Island. So we have 2 whole levels worth of coins to grab. It's never really an issue if you're going to grab the plane upgrade. The car upgrade is a bit more iffy. You do have to be more careful. Alright, we got one more level in this set here, and that is Walrus Cove. A Sonic level with a giant loop in it.
Did somebody say Sonic?
Yeah, a Sonic level. Look at this. Look at this loop. And there's some really, really sick drifts here.
Yeah, that does in fact look like the way loops are very often implemented in 3D fan games where there's no proper loop camera and it is very disorienting.
You know what? That puts into words an issue I've had with 3D fan Sonic games that I've been unable to figure out. But yes, they do that often, where it's like the camera doesn't like switch to like a dynamic camera whenever you're on the loop, so
Yep.
it gets disorienting really quickly. Yeah. Oh my god, that's something that I haven't been able to like actively communicate.
It is a thing I've had a problem with for a long, long time, and it like makes me a little motion sick, honestly.
Whew,
Like-
that's a lot of speed right there.
That's a lot of speed.
Gotta be careful because these corners are a little bit longer than they look, and we can smack into them and lose all of our speed. And this turn in particular is gnarly. And we're gonna hop over 2 islands. You wanna make sure that we... Ooh, wow, that still worked.
Woo! Oh,
And then I just hit the tree. That was so anticlimactic, but it's okay. As long as we don't fall into the water. This water is a death sentence. It's so slow to hit this water. We really want to avoid it at all costs.
yeah, I remember the N64 version, that is actually frozen ice that just bounces you back up.
Yeah.
For some
In this
reason,
version-
because it's, you know, frozen ice is bouncy.
In this version, it's water that drops your speed like a lead balloon. It's
Yep.
You go down like immediately. Ooh,
Woo-hoo-hoo!
he had a lot of speed going around that corner, I guess, and I hit the just right angle for it.
Like
Yeah,
suddenly
island
Whiz
hops
Pigs in the
here.
X Games.
That was an ideal drift at the end there, though, with the island hops, because those, like I said, maintaining your drift through aerial stuff can be hard, but those island hops are kind of easier than they look. Probably the easiest of like the drift aerial strats. Now that's done. We get to finally use the hovercraft for the first time, and that's to race our boy Bluey the Walrus.
Not to be confused
So-
with Bluey the dog.
The way we oh, hang on. The way we start hover is to do that. We're going to be blowing into the mic a lot during this run, not only to start the hovercraft, but later on for a cause challenge where we have to blow out torches on the island using the microphone. So, there's going to be a couple times where I'm talking and then I realize I have to use the microphone like that, so I'm sure it'll happen again.
I did not get this far when I played the DS version, so I completely forgot about that.
Yep, it's really, really silly. Okay, wait, I have to be careful here. Yeah, those candy, like, if you smack into that door, you can get stuck on those candy canes for a hot minute. It has happened to me before. And another thing you'll see is that we get huge hops on downhill slopes. Much like the acclaimed Sega Genesis game Sonic 3D Blast, hopping on downward slopes will gain more speed.
It's true.
It's crazy how everything relates back to that game.
Sonic 3D Blast is the genesis of all video games.
The Genesis. Alright, here we got TT's driving education school once again, where TT will fall. Keep an eye on the bottom screen. TT is going to fall off this track multiple times. I can guarantee it.
Yeah,
This
TT's
man
our
cannot
delivery
turn.
driver.
Oh,
I like how you
I
say
make fun of-
TT's gonna fall off this track multiple times, falls
say
off
it's-
immediately.
Yeah, it can happen. I'm not immune to it, but neither is TT. That's the point.
It's like TT's gonna be our delivery driver. It's like, no, I'm your delivery driver.
Yeah, am outside. It's just like Whizpig parked on these clouds. The cool thing about these wish races is that each level has like a each of these. Oh god, this is a really
That's
bad
a
level
nasty
design
turn.
right here.
Oh god.
Right, with the downward slope and stuff, you can't even really see how the turn goes. That's the issue with like the auto-generated level maps and stuff like that can happen. And then you can also get a bunch of speed going up the slope and just randomly start bouncing. I'm gonna put that in the middle. There's no way he won't hit it, right? Woo, okay. Yeah, there's an individual remix for each level that has a wish race. And if you look down at the bottom of the level whenever you get a chance, you'll see all of the level maps from the area you're in. So you can see them. It's like you're like above them all, kind of cool in the clouds. They're kind of hard to recognize because you never really get to see them for long enough. But if you sit there and look at them, you'll recognize like level layouts from the area. Like you can see Everfrost Peak and stuff. Wow, we got like 2 blue balloons here. That's more than you sometimes get. We fell off like 40 times, unfortunately. That is a hazard of these levels for sure.
So I know that the shapes like that you have to draw are generally randomly generated or something like that, but like are the slopes also randomly generated throughout
So
the
the shape, believe it or not, the shape is the same every time, but the elevation and slopes are different every time. So it's basically like a new track.
Yeah.
But we do get to draw the final one. And in that case, we're going to be drawing a very, very funny track, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's really silly. All right. Speaking of silly, we have to pop some balloons, grab some coins. We've already missed one balloon. It's unbelievable how fast like you can fail these if you wanted to go for gold.
Yeah, because you only get one pass on this, right?
Yeah, you get one pass on it, and you gotta know where they all are. And like, look at the touchscreen controls are awesome, so you always pop the balloons. You never have to worry about not popping a balloon. But sometimes you do. It's incredible. Frosty Village is one of the longer ones as well because they like to take their time around this level. I guess it's like kind of cool to be able to see like the level assets up close and stuff like that. Because these are very well detailed levels.
Oh yeah, like the new textures and stuff do so much for this game.
Yeah, for sure. And I love looking, especially levels like this have like a lot of cool features like the houses and the little Christmas trees and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, all right, let's hurry it up on this carpet ride here. Yeah, thank God we only need to get bronze. These would be a nightmare if we had to gold. I cannot stress that enough. I'll probably say that again, but it is really unbelievable how much harder it would be if you wanted to gold all these. And then if you wanted to 100% these, like get all the coins as well. Like that's such a task. I don't know how you do it. You gotta be like John Wick popping these balloons.
I like this comment in chat. It's like, how come you have to pop all these balloons? If you could just grab them instead, the game would be finished so much faster.
Yeah, or if it like if you, I wish you could just speed it up like a little bit. But no, we gotta. Okay, this is Snowball Valley, I believe. This is nuts. Watch how many balloons are just gonna fly right by at the beginning because it's impossible to get all these.
Oh, what?
Oh,
what?
And then it's like you want to turn around and get more, but then you're gonna miss. I think I just missed like 3 balloons that quickly. These small levels, they absolutely just throw balloons in your face. It's like, what are you supposed to do?
I appreciate Mount DK more or Diddy more there.
Yeah, Mount Diddy more. Yeah, that's something that I wasn't even aware in the level when I was speedrunning the game because it's like I never looked up. So it is cool to like see stuff like that. And you'll notice like we're already almost at the end of the level, but there's still so many balloons to pop because of how small the level is. They just filled it everywhere. Yeah, we missed like
3 out of 50.
Yeah, we missed so many. And I'm like, again, I play these relatively often. I just can't imagine what it's like for like some frustrated kid to do this. There's gotta be like some kid's nightmare. It's like this balloon mode, trying to get gold here. I already just missed 2, trying to pop 1 that wasn't popping.
Our tech in the background, or behind the scenes, Richard has been doing a lot of hard work to try to swap the screens throughout the gameplay, because Overworld is always like the bottom screen is your primary screen, and then in the individual levels outside of these like balloon challenges, the top screen is where you're looking. So shout outs to Richard for trying really hard to get this to work.
Huge shout outs for accommodating that. It can be so annoying to stream this game for that reason. Like, I have a stream deck and I sit here and swap through identical layouts on the fly whenever it does this. It's like either that or you play with like both screens equal size, but then it's like that's its own set of problems, so Yeah, this game is not easy to stream, so shout out to Tech for being very accommodating.
Yeah, and you were talking about how these were like a kid's nightmare. And Richard's like, I keep messing up these super short cutscenes because like there's very short cutscenes between like, you know, switching what screen is primary. Yeah. And Richard's like, this is like for the kids that can't keep their eyes on one screen. It allows them the ability to like just go all over the place. And I'm like, it's the short attention span haver's dream or the hyper focuser's nightmare.
You need the Subway Surfer on one of these screens and you're good. Then you're fine. Yeah, that's what this game needed is that and maybe some Family Guy clips in the corner. But like bit crunch to DS level.
Oh god, no, like the GBA video.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, this loop, why?
Oh, don't worry. There's a level with 2 loops later that we're gonna be doing that through. You get a chance to pop like everything on the bridge during that, though. It's so funny because the loops are so slow. This is a great way to collect coins, though. If you're worried about being low on coins, because you will get on average like 9 to 10 in these levels if you're trying to grab coins. So that can be a lot. Because sometimes you might not even get 9 to 10 like normally driving around the level if you're trying to be fast at the same time.
Yeah.
Thank God, though, we're almost out of these.
At least for the time being.
How many Rareware games have Rareware coins in them? They put that in so many of their games.
That's a good question, actually.
This Diddy Kong Racing on 64 has its own type of Rareware coin. And then, oh, I missed one? Really? Wow, no gold. Oh, and it's right there!
Wow!
No gold! Oh, so sad. Now just imagine I needed to gold that and I had to like reset the level.
I don't even want to think about that.
So here we are. It's our good friend Bluey for the second time. And I gotta do that again.
That's never not good. That's never not gonna get me.
It is the silliest thing to have to do in the middle of a speedrun. The one thing that I can compare it to in Phantom Hourglass, in order to get the salvage arm for your ship, you have to shout into the microphone. And, there's ways around this, but I specifically, I get a can of compressed air and just like spray it into the mic for that because it's so annoying. I know other people they'll plug a microphone into their DS and then tap the microphone against their desk, make screaming noises, or just overload the noise. But you got to do something. I used to actually, one of the challenges in this game, I used to do compressed air cheese, but nowadays I just blow into the mic for it because it's a little bit easier to steer the car. But I used to try to one-hand one of those things while I blew compressed air into the microphone.
Oh my
God.
extremely,
extremely silly.
We call that a tool-assisted speedrun, except the tool isn't any technology, it's just compressed air.
It's this type of technology, I guess you could argue.
Possibly,
so we're done with Bluey, and all we have left is our trophy race, and then we're going to be out of Snowflake Mountain. So enjoy the banger tunes one more time as we blast through these levels. There's some really cool stuff here. You can see with the plane. That was kind of actually what allows plane out of bounds to happen, is the way that he's kind of hugging the ledge for a second. If you do that in such a way where he's driving perpendicular to the ground, that's how you set up a plane out of bounds. But it's really speed specific and angle specific. This game has very wonky geometry, so it's not the easiest thing in the world to set up. Also, a 32 lap, pretty good considering we don't have the plane upgrade fully. And one thing you'll notice too is boosts will go in the middle of the screen whichever way you're facing, regardless of whichever way the car is actually facing. It's whichever way the screen is facing and it's the middle of it. But you gotta kind of angle your boosts in such a way where you're not gonna go, your line isn't gonna take you out completely. Ooh, another 32 there.
We call that
Usually I'm expecting-
consistency.
Yeah, crazy what IL grinding does. I'm a big ILer for this game for sure. I have a bunch of time submitted on speedrun.com, and actually one of the websites that hosts game history is a website called Cyberscore, which is like a UK based speedrun and like high score website. And Leia has a bunch of the world records on there, as well as the speedrun records on speedrun.com, and has kept up with a lot of the stuff on there as well. That's really cool. It reminds me of something like the Sonic Center, where it's like you have all this game's history on these really old leaderboards. You have times from literally like when the game released or a little bit after submitted. It's pretty crazy.
The Sonic Center, what a flashback.
I still use that. I
still have an
submit
account.
a lot of my 3D. Yeah, I still submit a lot of my 3DS times to it. Actually, basically anytime I have a Sonic IL, I upload it to Sonic Center. I think it's a cool little website, and I'll always champion sites that use like a point system to upload your speedruns to, because it's a fun way to gamify it, and it gets me to upload like 10 times more. Diddy Kong Racing actually has, the N64 version has a really active time trials community. Leah, who is the time trial goat in DS, is also the time trial goat in N64. She's first in the world by points, in total world records, and that's really cool. So shout out to Leah. She is just a beast at both of these games, and I really was trying to be somebody who was good at both versions, and then she like blew that out of the water. I was like, man, I don't even know how can somebody be so good at both versions of the game. Yeah, shout out to Leah. She is like nothing in this game. I don't think I would know anything without her knowledge. She is the go-to for all information. Her, Taechuk, who's the Tasser, who's done several levels. Whoa, oh my god, the saves! This tunnel right here is one of the hardest drifts to get if you want to try to hit that zipper right there. I miss it so often.
Some of these lines that you're taking, though, are tight.
I know, yeah, it's really cool, right? Like, I love it. Especially, like, around here and stuff, like, you know, it's risky, but this is one of those games, this is one of the first games I speedrun where I remember somebody told me that, like, I think it was Mrs. Gazama Luke, who's a huge speedrunner for N64. It was like, you know, it's better to try and YOLO some of this stuff and fail it than not try it at all, because, you know, that's the fast stuff, and it's going to be difficult. You just gotta figure out how to recover more than anything. Alright, Snowball Valley, now that we don't have to grab... Could you hear the sound of me, like,
scratching the touch screen with the stylus?
Yeah. That also reminds me of when I run Phantom Hourglass, in order to skip text, I mash with 2 styluses, and you can hear that in the microphone sometimes. It sounds like a woodpecker. Now that we don't have to grab the key here, this track is actually so much fun with blue balloons. Just a lot more going on than normal, and some awesome drifts.
This the track is going on this showcase is going a lot better than it was during the randomizer race, because that was certainly an experience.
What happened? I have to know. I've seen. So one time I saw the community loves to race the rando a lot, and I saw during a community rando race, people got absolutely trounced because it was a single lap Snowball Valley plain Adventure 2 coins. It's a mouthful, but it's a nightmare of a mouthful.
Okay, so it's basically that, but it wasn't Adventure 2 layout, and it wasn't plain. It was car, but it was single lap Snowball Valley's Silver Coin Challenge, and that is not fun.
So, yeah,
and
that's
both
so
runners
hard.
spent about like 7 or 8 minutes or something like that, just trying to to get through that. I'm pretty sure I have a note, because I ended up going back in the VOD and seeing how many attempts it took both players to how many resets it took for them to get through that. It was Dollar Ben took 13 attempts and OBO took 17.
It's rough. It's rough out there. I totally understand that. And,
Oh, yeah.
and that just takes me back. That just takes me back to the plane adventure 2 point. That was some of the hardest I've ever seen people at work at the rando. Like, and eventually even stopped just becoming about beating the rando and about beating Snowball Valley plane points. Like somebody has to be the one to do this at some point. It was such a huge challenge. I think that's why the rando is so cool. Is you get really, really difficult challenges like that. But like, if you're a good player, like that's not easy. Like, the speedrunners had to reset over that. I think that's really cool. Definitely a great game for rando. I love how much people are playing rando and stuff, and what it does for the game. And in general, this game is a really active and loving community. People are playing all the time. I don't know if they're still doing Wednesday night races, but they used to do Wednesday night hundo races all the time and stuff like that. So people are always out there playing Diddy Kong Racing, and it's really, really fun. Great, very supportive community, even if you play DS.
Yeah, like the dodge.
I meant to do that.
Totally.
I'm just, yeah. Alright, that is Snowflake Mountain done, and that's a second thing on our trophy board. And it was pretty hot on that mountain, so I guess it's time to go cool off at the beach. Or pretty hot, it was, wow. I made the same comment and it didn't make any sense this time because I reversed it. Well, I'm like malfunctioning now. Let's just go to the next area.
We're not going from Hot Top Volcano.
I know.
Look, I opened the show with saying grunts to rind. All right.
Yeah. Okay, we're in the same thing. I'm the worst with that stuff, like saying 2 words at the same time and just like absolutely butchering both of them. I do that constantly. Alright, well, we're at the beach now. That's the gist of what I was saying. There's some great levels here, some really cool movement, and some great remixes. Like Treasure Caves is a new track, and I love it a lot, actually. It's one of the better ones. And for whatever reason, they actually changed Pirate Lagoon music too, and I really like the remix, but I don't know where the original track went. Like, it's just not in the game now, or it might be in the credits or something, because they did change Jungle Falls and made it the original Jungle Falls music credits, so maybe they did that? I don't remember exactly, but either way, we get some cool remixes. I'll always take more music in this game. Oh, another really cool thing I forgot to mention that DS does is there's actually a new world of tracks. It's not part of adventure mode, but it is if you do any other like RTA category, it's going to include levels from this area. But it's DK Island focused tracks, and there's 4 of them: Meandering Mountain, Splashdown Pass, Strangled Shrine, and I'm blanking on the 3rd one. Oh, Thunder Cove. But they're really cool tracks, and they're pretty difficult, and they're long. They're about as long as like the Dino track, not the Dino tracks, as the Dragon Forest tracks. They're pretty long too. They're really cool, and they're unique to this version of the game. You only get them by buying them from the store. After collecting enough coins, which I think maybe some people don't know they exist for that reason. But yeah, definitely an awesome feature of this version is having a new world.
Oh yeah, like I heard that someone was running through like, oh my god.
What? Is there a problem?
No, just casually blowing into your DS, like, you know, like
imagine
that's
if
normal.
you were like out in public doing this. I can't imagine the looks that you would get. It's like when I'm doing like 3DS games with a lot of gyro. It's just like, this is not designed for somebody who's like on a train.
Oh my god, I definitely have tried playing Nintendogs on the train to work when I used to like work.
Oh my god, yeah,
with a
and
commute.
you're just like sitting there shouting their names or whatever.
Yep.
This part's actually pretty difficult in this version. There's this jump right here. Oh, that's nice. I pressed A a little bit earlier because you know, I let go of A at the zipper, and you want to re-grab A at a specific point so that you don't lose too much speed and you get as much out of the boost as possible. But there I re-grab A earlier so that I have more control over where the hovercraft is turning, because that in particular, like that whole sequence of going over the thing is so ludicrously, ridiculously hard in this game for some seemingly no reason sometimes. So I make sure that I give myself as much chance as possible. Alright, now we got Crescent Island, where the key lies, and this is, without a doubt, the worst key in the game. We're going to wait till lap 2 to grab it, but you'll see why I'm saying that. Now, we have a theory to why the key is the way it is, but I'll explain it when we get to it. First, you get to see, this is one of the only levels that has no blue balloons at all. Just red and green, so we don't even need to worry about our balloons, basically. We have this really big pirate ship. What's cool is that you can play this level in hover as well, and you can actually go around the pirate ship in the water instead of going through it, which is like a full change. Which I wish this level had plane for that reason, because I feel like going over the pirate ship would make a lot of sense too. I know this level has tunnels, you know, but there are other plane levels that have tighter tunnels than that, like there's Frosty Village plane.
Oh,
and
what?
So here's our key.
This key is so different from the N64 version, and this one sucks probably more.
Yeah, it's in a giant pool of water, and we just move so slow. The theory is that maybe you're supposed to go back into the level with hover and grab it, but we don't have time for that, so we gotta just do it that way. It is still faster than going back into the level with hover, but it's just like, I do not like that key. Luckily, I've remembered all the keys so far, because sometimes, you know, sometimes in the heat of, like, racing, you'll completely forget to grab the key, and then you have to go back to the level just to grab it. Luckily, you can save and quit out of the level once you have the key, like, you don't actually have to complete it. But that is something that I have definitely done before, is forgotten the key and have to run back in and grab it. Cool. Alright, out of there with the key, and we didn't even lose first place, even though we shot into the water. So that's pretty cool. Overall, that was a strong showing for Crescent Island. Also, when you go into Crescent Island in this game, the voice track that's like Crescent Island, it sounds like he's saying Prison Island. That's all I hear. And I just keep thinking of like Shadow the Hedgehog or something.
Yep, Shadow the Hedgehog or SA2.
I always think of Shadow with Prison Island because of like Charmy and stuff. But it never gets old. This is Whale Bay. This is a really, really fun hover track. You're actually going to see me avoiding blue balloons here, because although they're speedy, they kind of really make it difficult to approach things at the right angle sometimes, and this whale is so much more specific on DS if you want to jump up there. So I want to make sure that I'm lined up real well, and I don't really use blue balloons for that reason. This is a really fun little hover track. This is the area that has the most hover in the game. Also, if you listen, you'll hear whale noises coming from this level. I don't know if that's on N64 too, but I definitely hear it in this version.
Don't believe it is on N64, but maybe I'm just like usually too engrossed in the music to notice.
Yeah, it is fun music. This is like the silliest sounding song to me, in a fun way, but it always sounded that way.
This looks so different from N64.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
You've got this huge waterfall section here, and then the ship section is a little bit different too. Even oh my! How did I make that? Wow!
I don't even know if that was worth, but hey,
it is. It is. Going around is still slower than what I just did.
Oh, okay.
And that was a nice ending, grabbing the balloon. Yeah, Whale Bay is a cool track.
At least it's not Boulder Canyon.
I love Boulder Canyon, personally, but I understand people who might not have the same love for it. I almost forgot where to go for a second, which is why I swear. We're going to Bubbler, everyone's favorite giant octopus.
No!
And he is pretty simple in this version. We're going to be avoiding all of the blue balloons. They're way too out of the way.
That one I was prepared for.
Yeah, that one at least, after a while you get it. But yeah, so we're actually the goal here is as tight of lines as possible and avoid Bubbler. He's going to be dropping mines all over the track. We want to avoid those whenever we go around for laps 2 and 3. But yeah, we're just going to be hopping as close to a tight line as we can make. That's really the goal here. He is a really fast octopus. Even with a fast character like Whizpig, a single mistake could put us under for this whole race. So we need to be careful. And generally, like, you're pretty good the first time around. I think it's pretty easy to not slam into the mines, and you can probably recover the first time around, but the second race, absolutely not. If you get caught in a bubble or a mine, it's over.
Bubbler 2 is like an actual nightmare. Like, speaking of which, there's a big tonal whiplash in chat where someone goes, ugh, this boss. Love this game. I hate this boss. He's my favorite. Just in rapid fire lines. Thank you, chat.
I love.
There are two kinds of people out there.
I love the emotions these kind of games inspire in people, because it is always a strong one, regardless. Because this is honestly one of the most fun N64 games, and I think it's a very fun DS game as well. And yeah, the highs are high, but the lows can feel very low at times. Yes, Whizpig is playable. You get him for beating Adventure 2. Him and Taj are both playable in this game and share identical stats, so we actually want to play Whizpig for a lot of stuff. Or Taj and Whizpig for adventure stuff, because their car handling is really good. Unfortunately, you're not going to see that for a while, because we got balloons we gotta pop.
Oh, here we go again.
So for those who are just joining us, this is the replacement for coin races in this game, is pop the balloon in a one-lap race, or one-lap auto-scroller, it's not even a race, around...
I was gonna say, this is a race?
It's a race against, boredom, I think.
Like, this is big rail shooter vibes right here.
Yeah, they basically added a rail shooter.
House of the Dead became House of the Balloons.
House of the Balloons! Oh, I want typing of the balloons now.
That'd probably be... Oh, there is a keyboard attachment, a Bluetooth keyboard from Pokemon Teaches Typing.
Wait, for DS?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
There's a Bluetooth keyboard for the DS. You should talk to Corvame.
You are absolutely the person to know that, too.
Like, I knew about it before I had seen Corvame do the run, which, by the way, Think Fast is tomorrow. Y'all should ask Corvame about the DS keyboard.
That's crazy.
That's a real thing.
Keyboard.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
I have to seek that out now and see if it works for games, because that could be a silly, silly way to spend my time. I love cursed controllers, and I know you do too.
Yes,
we bonded over that in the past.
I've been pinged many a time on Discord and various social media by you specifically, pointing me in the direction of various cursed controllers, a lot of which I've been like, yo, I have this.
Yeah, no, 90% of the time you have it. It's been incredible, really. It's
either I've had it, or I have seen it, or have heard of it, and I'm very aware of it.
I think it was you I saw a tweet from about the amount of Fisher-Price controllers that you own.
No, I have one Fisher-Price controller, but mine is currently broken. It doesn't make sounds, and the D-pad is broken now. I have to send it back to the person who modded it for me.
Okay. I couldn't remember the nature of the tweet.
Yeah, no, that was very recent, because I tried to get my Fisher-Price controller to work very recently, because it came up in conversation during my last show with Animal Crossing City Folk.
That's truly incredible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Fisher-Price laugh and learn.
I have a friend who would always jokingly refer to technology that he has that's bad as like Fisher-Price X. Like, he always talked about his Fisher-Price internet or something.
Yep, I've definitely said Fisher-Price internet.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, and that just makes me think of that too, like calling it a Fisher-Price controller. That's what I'd be calling it when I was angry at it.
Oh my god.
I saw that exact controller that people are using, the Fisher-Price one, at CVS recently, and I had half a mind. I was like, maybe I should, but I didn't let the thoughts win that day. to buy the Fisher Price controller.
I mean, you can get it pretty cheap, and there's like a modding guide, and like there's a site out there that guides you through modding it, lets you buy the parts for it. It's pretty wild. Someone's roommate got them that unmodded version of that controller because of the Animal Crossing show. Incredible. I am a great influence.
Just what exactly people wanted was that controller.
Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great holiday with that controller. It does have a Konami code Easter egg. It's true.
For all the adults that are going to be... I guess I can't even make that joke because adults are holding it in this scenario. Alright, last balloon challenge, and then we're going to go do our wish race for this area. Luckily, it's in a nice short level like Whale Bay, too. We get to see all the pretty new features like this long tunnel. Yeah, this is a big change up from N64.
And
also,
like,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like we were saying earlier as well, like, we view it as a downgrade from the Silver Coin challenges, which are still in the game, by the way, just not in adventure mode. It's a time trial thing. But, like, honestly, if this was, like, what we were given in the original... Like, if Diddy Kong Racing didn't exist on N64 and it only existed on DS, and this is what we got, this would be pretty cool. Except for the part where this is not what we originally got. So why?
Yeah, it's. I think, like we said before, any major changes will always come under scrutiny like that, regardless of how good they are or how bad they are, just because it's like, it is a change from the original, and it is a remake, and so people have a general level of expectation of things that are the same and different. That's why, Majora's Mask 3D can be such a controversial game for people, because it does make more drastic changes than Ocarina of Time does. And coincidentally, that is also a game I speedrun. I just started speedrunning within the last couple months. Really sick game, by the way. And here's the last time that TT's going to guide us, but he's going to draw a T, a nice monument to his vanity.
And he's not going to be able to stay on that T either.
Not even a little bit. I think I put the entrance right at the turn. Why would I do that? I did not mean to put it there, but oh well, now that happened, that's really funny. Okay, need to get on track here. This track is always really weird, but this one in particular, TT will have a lot of trouble staying on, and that doesn't help when I put oil slicks either. I see a blue balloon, I need to... Nope.
Oh my god, the terrain in this one is not much better than the last one.
Yeah, they love to pull this stuff on you. Like, you'll get these really awkward turns into a downhill slope where you can't see much of the level because it's like you go, look at this, it's like you go up and then around to a turn. It's like, who would ever design their track like this? And it's like nobody would, except the computer who has no idea how to design a track.
Or drive on it.
Yeah, no, TT can't do either. You're gonna see, when we get the chance to make our own track later, we make the best one ever. It's gonna be during Dragon Forest when we do that.
I've got a feeling we've got, like, a giant, long oval incoming.
You will see, but that's not a completely out there guess. I can't confirm or deny, but that is close to reality, I would say.
The only other thing I could think of is, like, since it's you'd probably draw, like, a Chaos Emerald or, like, Knuckles' fist or something.
I wish I could. That would actually be really funny.
It'd probably be terrible to drive on, too.
Yeah. If only I could it'd be really funny to have, like, a very detailed thing of Knuckles that you're just driving on the outline of.
It's like, yeah, we're driving on Knuckles today.
The Hypnotics #1 Knuckles fan. Or maybe it's Shovel Claws, I don't know, between the two of them. Hard to decide who is the bigger Knuckles fan.
Oh god, it's true. It's true, though.
I haven't looked, but I guarantee you that TT... Oh yeah, TT just fell off. I glanced at the bottom screen for a second. Yeah, he just don't have a...
Who gave
Okay,
this
to be
clock a
fair-
license?
Yeah. Okay, to be fair, I was gonna say some of these turns are terrible, so I can imagine that a computer would have a hard time. Whoop, I didn't mean to talk to you. He wanders around the center of the map, and you don't want to run into him because it'll trigger dialogue. Alright, but here's our boy Bubbler. We got one more race with him, and then we got our trophy race. So we're getting close to the end of Sherbet. I gotta... God, that happens other times when I've done commentary for this game. But I get really into talking and I forget that I have to start blowing into the mic, and so I just like have to stop my sentence completely. One of these days I'll remember, but today's not that day. So this time around, Bubbler will not only drop mines, but also bubbles. And the bubbles are a death sentence. Like, if you get trapped in one, it's you should reset. It's over. Luckily, they're really not super in the way for the route that we take. I just kind of have to like make sure that I don't hit them, because it's like, it doesn't matter how out of the way they are. You still have a chance to hit them if you're not paying attention. Yeah, okay. We're gonna hop around some of these mines here. Okay, there are a couple blue balloons, but they're all so out of the way that going to grab them ends up wasting more time than just hopping around the corners and taking really tight lines. Also, a lot of bubbles right now. I'd love if he would stop. I guess that's why his name is Bubbler.
So here in the Northeast, where I'm from, because I'm originally from Boston, but I live elsewhere in the Northeast now, we call those like water coolers, like with the giant jugs. We call them water bubblers.
Oh, so I'm Northeast adjacent originally, but I haven't heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it might just be a Boston or Massachusetts thing. I'm not sure, but I've always thought it was very strange. But I understand why it's called a bubbler, I guess. Because like when you're like when you're filling a thing, it'll tend to like release a giant bubble.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Like you're talking about like a cooler that you have in an office or something like that.
Yeah, like you know those giant Poland Spring like massive like not 2-gallon jugs, maybe they're 2 gallons or something, but they go upside down into the cooler thing, and you have the little 2 like spouts at the bottom that like one is supposed to be for hot water, the other one's supposed to be for cold.
Yeah, nope, yep, exactly. Wow.
Apparently it's a Boston and Rhode Island thing, which explains a lot because I've lived in both of those states. Because Connecticut doesn't do that.
It just made me think, I love water. What a great thing. Everybody should drink water. Hydrate.
Yes, big recommendation on hydrate, and my partner has just said over my shoulder, no, here in Rhode Island, he's a Rhode Island native, here in Rhode Island we call them water fountains, not bubblers. wait, we call them water fountains bubblers? No, what? Sorry, my partner's just like not... I thought you just said that it was a water fountain. Okay. We call water fountains bubblers. That's literally what I was just talking about. Well, most people know them as water coolers. Oh my god. Sorry.
Shout out to water.
Shout outs to water. I like how we've got the Boston and Rhode Island natives just arguing in the background. Over whether it's a water fountain, bubbler, or cooler.
Water moment. I was gonna say Northeast moment.
Yep, water moment.
Water
moment indeed.
This is a certified water moment. Please hydrate.
Oh my goodness.
And so we're doing the trophy race. After that, both Bubbler in the game and Bubbler in real life happened. Trying to think what I was gonna say. We have a very interesting island section coming up after this. This one is after the trophy race, that is, because two of the balloons that normally could be found around the island were repurposed into Taj challenges. And when we leave Sherbet, we're gonna get immediately spawn Taj to do one of the challenges with him. And it's a treat. It's gonna involve a lot of blowing into the microphone. I jokingly want to create like a speedrun where you do the challenge where you blow into the microphone a bunch, like 30 times. We call it lightheaded % or something, but that sounds like a bad idea. Should we encourage it?
Yeah, that seems like a bad idea.
It's a bad idea to even do it in normal speed, let alone multiple times in a row. Let alone, it's also the only Taj challenges that has an actual timer, so technically you could, like, it's the most speedrunnable of the Taj challenges. The most irresponsible.
Okay, so
of course
we've got someone in the chat asking a question. Since this is a driving game, I'll allow this. What do you call the round traffic thing with multiple exits that you yield to get into? Here,
it's a roundabout, right?
Well, I've called it so like Google always calls it a rotary when you're like using Google Maps. At least over here, they call it a rotary.
That's a phone. You can't fool me.
Like I've called it a rotary. Or actually, I think here in or like up in Massachusetts, we called it a rotary. I've heard roundabout in certain areas, and I've heard traffic circle, and I think traffic circle is actually what Google calls it.
I want to say I've seen traffic circle, but never said it. But that would make sense to me. But roundabout is just kind of what I know it as.
Yeah, like I call it a rotary. Or like if I just heard the phrase traffic circle because of Google, I will say traffic circle, but I've heard a lot of folks say roundabout. Yeah, Massachusetts definitely calls them rotaries on the sign because I used to live right next to a rotary. And it had that sign of room around.
Alright, this was a pretty good Pirate Lagoon. Let's just thread the needle with the... Oh, I spoke too soon. That's not the one I worry about, though. The thing I worry about is this. This, if you want to go for this, it's so... Yeah, because that's what can happen. You get caught around that corner so easily with a bad angle approaching. It's unreal.
Some of the comments in chat, they're better than the good luck 6-way intersections near me, or I don't know what they're called in California, but no one knows how to use them.
Yeah, definitely an issue I've had. Roundabouts. They're only just, like, back when I'm from Pennsylvania, and they just started to become more of a common thing in my area, and, like, people did not know how to drive them at first. But I'm no longer from Pennsylvania, so maybe it's better. I mean, I guess I'm always from Pennsylvania, but I no longer live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But shout out to Pittsburgh. I just have to say that SGDQ or AGDQ happening in Pittsburgh is the craziest thing ever because I'm from Pittsburgh and nothing happens in Pittsburgh except AnthroCon. So it was so cool that Pittsburgh got GDQ. I'm so excited to actually like have it in my hometown.
Pokemon VGC regionals happened in Pittsburgh this year.
Oh, that's crazy! I didn't know that.
The only reason I know that is because my partner was trying to get into that regionals, and then they sold out of spots, and he couldn't go, so he had to change his plans last minute.
Oh, that sucks.
It is what it is, but apparently Pittsburgh was a very popular regional right after Worlds.
Every time I hear region, I just think upstate New York. Well, anyway, that is our race done, and we have officially finished Sherbet Island. So now the fun really begins because the two challenges that they've given us, one is skill-based but requires a lot of blowing into the microphone, and one is less skill-based and more RNG-based. So it's just going to be a lot of fun. So here we go. Let's I like fun and I want to have some. So Taj is going to take us to start. So, the first challenge is we have to blow out all the torches on the island in a minute. And we have a countdown timer to help us with this. I'm going to have to do this. I can't talk very much during this challenge, but here we go. We have a set of 3 and a set of 5 that we need to go do.
Oh no.
Oh my god. There you go. Just sometimes they get stuck.
Drive-by blowing of like
Literally.
torches here.
You gotta. And that's 3 you need to go to watch because we can bump into Taj and waste time. These ones are really hard because the radius is just off.
Yeah, they're higher
For
up
where
than you. I could just imagine WizPig just driving around in this hovercraft, actually trying to blow on torches and just like getting really exasperated.
I know. It's definitely the best challenge in the game for sure. And now we need to go, and before we trigger the next challenge, we can go ahead and we got some stuff to buy. And by some stuff, I mean we're about to check out the plane the same way we did with cars. So we're gonna get Air B.
In B?
Air B. Yeah, oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize what you said.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's Air B. Okay, we got it. Now plane is going to go super fast, and that's awesome because the next challenge is very plane heavy. So the thing I can compare this next challenge to is emerald hunting in Sonic Adventure 2, where we need to find tokens hidden around the island, and we have a radar, and so we need to read that radar and find the tokens. But this is a race. We need to find 10 tokens before Taj does, and every token that spawns is random. So sometimes you get the best RNG in the world, and other times the game just decides to give Taj 75 tokens in one go, and you can't do anything about it. Okay, so far not bad. Oh wow, all in the starting area right now too. What is this RNG right now?
That was certainly some RNG. What? Oh, okay, it's right there.
Did I pick it up?
Oh no! Did Taj just steal that? Yeah, Taj just stole
he did?
it. Yeah, you went right under it and Taj got it.
This is crazy. They can appear all around the island, but we've been getting a lot of the spawns in this area right now.
Okay, that one you actually got.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell because sometimes, oh my god, what is this RNG? Oh, and it's in the log now, I can see because I can see on the top screen.
Yeah, bless the top screen right now. No,
That's
Taj,
okay.
please!
No, it's okay, it's okay. We need to turn around, which is hard with the plane. Oh, and there's one up there. It's okay, it's okay. He needs to get 10 before he wins. Oh, I don't know if it's the best decision for me. Yeah, okay, this looks like it's on the beach, maybe? No.
Probably, or it's in that log. No, it's definitely... Ooh.
Alright, yeah, Taj got it, so I need to turn around. This is, yeah, you have to be really good at routing on the fly here, because anything could happen. So, it's not only, it's reading, like, that's why I compare it to SAT, it's like, it's reading the radar and knowing your checks. Because you gotta kind of have an idea about where it's pointed and what that could mean in terms of, like, all possible. Because, you know, there's only a set of possible tokens.
Yeah.
But we got through that okay. That is a brutal section of the game. And actually, we're gonna kind of come up on a break here after I enter the door for Dragon Forest. So I'll let you know, but that's about, as soon as I can. I got played by the waterfall. Alright, but I'm going to count down to pause the timer here in a second.
Alright.
So in 3, 2, 1, pause. And we can go ahead and take a break now.
Yeah, like Brandino said, we are going to take our wellness break of the stream. If you are, here and we appreciate you being here. Your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, your bits that are cheered here on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. And if you are enjoying watching speedruns daily, consider subscribing to the channel. And similarly, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also go to twitch.tv/Games Done Quick to watch our shows live. So we'll be right back after this break with more Diddy Kong Racing DS. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Passion Project, the variety show that encourages everyone in the speedrun community to showcase projects that they've been working on. I'm Amber Cyprin. I'm your host tonight, and I'm still joined here by Brandino as we take you through the rest of the Any Percent run of Diddy Kong Racing DS. Go ahead and take it away, and feel free to count us back in for the timer.
Yeah, I will do that. All right, so we'll undo the timer in 3, 2, 1, go. And we are now in just beginning Dragon Forest. So, and we've just upgraded the plane fully. So now the plane's going to go a lot faster at the caveat that WizPig's handling is not much suited to the plane's speed. So we got to be very careful about how we approach a lot of these next couple plane tracks. In particular, like tight corners, like I'm gonna try to take them, but like he takes much. Like it is, I don't know if the wide turns really show it off, but yeah, it does feel like you have to lay on your movement when you're using plane with WizPig. It's unfortunate that his plane is just so much worse than his car, but what are you gonna do? Unfortunately, we can adapt to the issues in plane. Can't really adapt to TT's car, which is much worse.
Mm-hmm.
And a big thing here, you know, we're gonna, instead of taking another blue boost on the side, we want to make sure we're hitting zippers, because the zippers are way faster than blue balloons. And we get to do some really cool double zipper strats here, because there's a lot of great places you can chain. Like, this is one of my favorites right here. That's a really cool strat. Semi-difficult because, like, taking a lot of speed into a tunnel like that can be, like, very scary. Because if you hit a wall, you're gonna go flying, but you just gotta be very confident with the speed you can make it. Oh, I hit Bumper again!
Bumper's been, like,
time.
public enemy number 1 this run.
I don't know what I did, but he is mad. I guess I am WizPig, so... I don't know if I have to wonder too hard. Oh, whoop. You gotta be careful here because I want to take that turn so much tighter than I'm actually able to keep these so smooth and plain by comparison. Oh, and you can see the Air B attachment of the plane is like a big, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, big exhaust pipe attached onto the back, just like it is with the car. Just add a jet engine or whatever you want to call it. Now the plane moves even faster. Alright. Next up, we have Greenwood Village, which is one of my favorite car tracks, but also one of the hardest car tracks. Getting through this level without smacking into a wall takes some effort. There's some really tricky turns here, and the enemies will litter this track with oil slicks by the time it's over.
I believe it.
Absolutely terrible with it. There's only one blue balloon here, and the fastest way to use it is to get over this hill slightly quicker, because that hill actually loses a lot of speed going up. It's a lot steeper than it looks. Sometimes blue balloons, you want to use them. Sometimes you want to use them as soon as you grab them. Other times you want to hold on to them and just wait, because then that's the smart thing to do. You got some tight drifts here, and there you go. That's a really, really cool drift that you can do. The thing about the zippers is that we kind of always want to angle like difficult drifts into a zipper, because the zipper will help us readjust our angle where we need to be after we hit it. Which, you know, because coming out of the drift, you're at like near 90-degree angle, so it's like it can be really hard to adjust. But usually with the zipper speed, you can do it. And even if you hit a wall, you can ride on the wall for a second while you readjust your angle.
You were going through this track with the movement that I just noticed the WizPig stained glass there, by the way, where you ran into the wall. Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of great little details. And thanks to Dixie Kong, we can stop and look at this forest a little bit more. Yeah, Greenwood Village is one of my favorite tracks, personally. It's one of the most memorable tracks from when I was a kid, because I love the design, and I still think it's really cool. I love the little castles and arches and stuff.
Yeah, my favorite my favorite track is actually also here in Dragon Forest, but it's Haunted Woods.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get to that too. That's a really fun track. And now we're entering Boulder Canyon, which I think is a really cool track. Very unique track. Um, so a big change here on DS is that the N64 version, they had a dynamic soundtrack that changed with the areas of the level. Now they still have that music that changes, but the DS version doesn't change based on area as far as I know. It's just like a backing track that kind of loops. Which is very weird. So it gets out of sync pretty quickly if you're faster than the developers were expecting you to be. It works way better in the balloon challenge because the balloon challenge is made to be one lap, so they actually have it like looping correctly based on where you are. But yeah, you'll notice that the music gets out of sync pretty quickly and sounds very like a mishmash of the whole level going, which is a shame because this level has such a cool concept of the music in the 64. But even on an N64, that's what makes it one of the laggiest tracks, is that it has dynamic music, so what are you gonna do?
You gotta get this key up here, right?
Yep. I make sure to grab a blue balloon, really get the speed going. I admit, I've fallen off there like 5 different times recently. Gotta figure out what I'm doing wrong. Probably just like getting off this strange angle, but
What are
okay.
those NPCs doing in that corner?
I missed it. Were they just like stuck?
They were all just stuck, like having a party in that corner. If someone clips that, like,
They all gave up.
yeah, if someone clips that, I need Brandina to go back and like look at that because it looked really goofy.
I'll have to look. That sounds really funny though. That doesn't surprise me. You'll see NPCs doing a lot of weird stuff the further along you get in some races, especially ones like this where the track is really strange, and especially because you raise the drawbridge, which causes a lot of them to exhibit funky behavior. Oh, right on the zipper. That's great.
Ooh.
We have to hop around the corners and down these slopes. And we had a big turn here. That was great. Good
That was
Boulder Canyon.
definitely a good one, yeah.
Yeah, I love that track too. That's a really fun track. Hover is such a strange way to play, but once you finally get the hang of it, I think it has a lot to offer. And now we got Haunted Woods coming up, which is one of the shortest car tracks, but a pretty tech-heavy one. It's got a lot of tight drifts and some really difficult movement that's not made any easier by the computers because this level is full of oil slicks. It'll be amazing if we don't run into one. Oh wow, I cannot believe he still hit that zipper. I feel like he was like 6 miles away from it. But that's what the nice thing is. Sometimes the zippers are nicer than they look, and other times it feels like you're right on top of them and they're not working. It's like, you know, I guess it evens out.
This is another one of those really short tracks like Snowball Valley.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be packed with balloons once we get back to rail shooter mode.
Oh, you absolutely know it. That one, especially in the forest section, it's just like they're between all the trees. It's a nightmare. Which I guess is fitting for Haunted Woods. I love that specific drift. And it's really cool
so
too.
Smooth.
I know. I love the drift around the tree. What did the Tiny Kong just came up and smacked into a wall? What is he doing?
I don't know. The NPCs have been having a time with this particular area.
Yeah, to answer a comment in chat, Wizpig is unlockable when you beat Adventure 2, and Taj is unlockable for beating Adventure 1. And then you unlock TT for completing all of the staff ghosts or time trial ghosts, and then you unlock Drumstick for running over a frog and then flinging him into a pole. Yeah, in the DS version they changed it. You don't run over the Drumstick frog, you like fling him into a pole using the touchscreen. It's another funny way that they've decided to integrate things.
It's actually kind of funny though, not gonna lie.
It is, because you're like the frogs are real stretchy, so you're just like sitting there tossing them. Now this is Smokey, who is the boss of Dragon Forest. He is the titular dragon of the forest. but we really don't see him much. With Air B attached to the plane and Wizpig's superior speed, he's going to stay behind us for the entire race. And on N64, they have this whole thing where he'll leave like fireballs in the air on the second visit that we're here, but that doesn't even happen here. So this is by and large a pretty simple plane track, all things considered, compared to its N64 counterpart. Now there is an out of bounds on this track on N64, and there's an out of bounds technically in this game, but the out of bounds in this version is pass only, so we can't do it. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of a lot of the plane tracks. The only ones that we do have skips for are like ones we're not doing at any percent, except for like Everfrost Peak and Windmill Plains. And those are hard ones to do anyway. Like, you have to be pretty good at them to save time. You'll see me, I try to use blue balloons to save over going through like one long straight or something where possible, because that's really all they're best for, is like when you're directly facing forward and you have an angle, your angle picked, you want to use a blue balloon. Because sometimes if you don't have your angle sought out, you will not boost where you want to go. Alright, and that's Smokey 1. And now we get to go do our wish race. But this time, instead of TT guiding us, we get to design the track. And because we're trying to be as fast as possible, we're going to design something like this. And that's going to be our racing track.
Yep, makes sense.
DT will not stay on this track, but we're not even going to be on long enough for us to be able to view. I'm not even going to be able to be on long enough. This track is... If you make the best possible little donut, you can actually hop the center in a really sick move, but it's like so much has to go right for that to be possible. I guess that's kind of just hop the center. And that's how it's over.
That is actually great. I thought it was going to be a really long oval because I thought that there was a certain amount of track you had to draw.
No, amazingly enough, there is no minimum for the allowed amount of track that you have to do there. Alright, Windmill Plains. As we move into some of these longer levels, they spread the balloons out so much further that it gets so much harder to see them, especially because I think the balloons don't stick out very well against the terrain at this level sometimes. So it can be really hard from a distance to see them. And I have the same problem with Greenwood Village, where sometimes the balloons are placed up against areas with really busy textures, and it's like impossible to see if there's a balloon hidden there. And then sometimes you're stuck doing this, where it's just like one long, slow corner, you've popped all the balloons, just waiting for something to happen. And then, wait, there's probably, I think there's one at the corner. I always forget where they're hidden. It's hard to remember with all these tracks. It's like one thing to memorize all the tracks just normally, but it's like another thing to have to memorize balloon placements.
So when you're dragging... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we don't really need coins anymore, but I'm just dragging them for fun.
So speaking of when you're dragging the touch screen around to manipulate the camera, like, is it like inverted at all? Like if you were to scroll like...
No, it's normal.
From
so if I go
to
down,
top.
it goes down.
Okay.
If I go down, it goes... Yeah, it's like, you want to like kind of swipe and sweeping motions up and down to like readjust the camera, and that can be really frustrating because like sometimes like if a balloon isn't fully on screen or something, and like that, like I think I got that one, but it's like hard to tell because I spent most of the time flipping the camera. Greenwood Village. Yeah, this is one too where the balloons are constantly up against the background. It can be really hard to spot them against the textures. Also, that well right there has an underground path that leads to this tunnel to our right. But it's not any faster, so nobody ever takes it in a speedrun. But it's worth noting about, because I think some people have commented in the past wondering if it's actually faster to go under the well, but it's not. Not in this game either. You just waste a bunch of time falling down the well when you could just be driving to the tunnel that it goes to.
Oh, this is so busy with the woods there.
I know, it's... I can't tell where the balloons are hidden sometimes. It's so hard to see them from a distance. And you can only hit them can only pop them when you're like so close to them, which is another really annoying. Just missed one. An annoying feature where it's like you can, if sometimes you can see them but can't pop them, and you waste a bunch of time trying to wait till they're first poppable, and then it's like then you can't do anything because you waste a bunch of time, and like there's like some you missed because of that. What did we miss? 5? That's not bad. Or 4. Alright, 2 more tracks left. Boulder Canyon's fun because the track's music actually syncs up correctly this time around.
Yeah. Instead
Which
of
it
being
doesn't
this
do.
like, this sounds a little weird. I don't remember
Yeah.
what this sounds like.
The version that you get in the normal tracks just starts to sound like a soup made of the different parts of the Boulder Canyon music. It's just like, why I'm hearing the drums from one part into another, and for some reason I'm hearing the instruments from one part playing in this other place. It's all over the place with stuff like that. This one is terrible. The balloons, the amount of balloons they throw in your face around here. I always end up missing at least one around this tower. Because it's like, even if it looks like I can tap them, it's like I'm trying, but it's not working.
Yeah, you're not getting the one singular pixel they want you to touch.
And it's like, you can waste time turning around to try and grab them, but sometimes you're turning towards more balloons during that, and it's like, do you want to waste the effort and get 1 balloon, or end up missing 3? You gotta make these decisions. It's difficult out here popping these balloons.
Someone's like, so did Wizpig just like steal Taj's carpet or what?
Yeah, it's a valid question. Is Taj just lending us his carpet for a little bit, like so we can go pop the balloons? Why can't we just grab them? Yeah, it's was said earlier, but why are we not just grabbing them?
Right. You can have all the balloons you need, all the magic balloons, just to like unlock all the things you need, or maybe float to future Funland for all I know.
That's one thing to mention, is like this game's progression system is the number of golden balloons that you've collected from winning challenges and stuff like this. I can't do this. I swear I'm not just like opting to turn away, I'm just missing a bunch of balloons and have no choice but to turn away. Ridiculous. Oh my god, pop the balloons. And then there's coins right near. Oh, look at this. I just don't get. We missed one for sure there.
Yeah, I saw the one like just kind of hiding by the tree trunk.
I'm trying to get this one, but instead the camera moved and I also grab a coin. Just incredible stuff, dude.
Wow, you barely got bronze there. Like,
yeah, these
thankfully
later
there's
ones,
like a ton like loaded right here, but still.
these later ones, they'll do that to you. They make you think you've lost just to hide them all at the end. Alright, that's all the balloons popped, thankfully. And now we're gonna go race our boy Smokey one more time. Getting close to the end here, because we have a little bit left of Dragon Forest, and then we go to Future Funland. Couldn't get the full boost on the plane there. Sometimes that happens. You're spinning with all your might, but the game just says no. Great forearm workout for the game, I'll tell you what. Reminds me of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games on DS, where there's just a ton of challenge, or just spin as fast as possible, or something like that.
Oh my god. The original Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games on DS is just like, here, rub back and forth extremely fast while you,
literally,
while you're running.
Oh, it's a nightmare for touchscreen, people who want to keep their touchscreens, like, not destroyed. I tried to do a speed run of one of the RTA categories of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games on DS, and after like one run not even finishing, my hands hurt. Because there's so many wacky movements you're making constantly, and it's like, you don't need to win all the challenges, but you're still trying to like play them. It's just a nightmare. Yeah, the DS touchscreen was very much like the Wii with the motion controls, where it was like anybody who could just make a game that utilized it to a horrible degree was out there doing it.
I mean, like, some people thought it was, like, really cool. And, like, I think some of the gimmicks are cool. But then
I'm not anti-touchscreen at all. There are games that do it well, but then there's, like, I feel like more often than not, it's, like, games that are, like, very much shoehorning it in ways that don't make sense. It
Yeah.
is very weird for like your vehicle boosting to be that. But games like, I don't know, Pokemon Ranger utilize a touchscreen awesome. Stacey, comment about that in the chat. Alright, trophy race for Dragon Time. And then we're getting out of here and we get to go race Wizpig as Wizpig. Oh, can't believe. So, one thing to mention about air zippers, or zippers that are generally like circular shape, you want to hit them very like dead on to their angle, because if you hit them like kind of from the sides, then your character will get caught in them for a second while the boost happens and it wastes time. So you want to hit them in such a way where you like swipe them on the side to get the speed without like getting stuck in the boost itself, if that makes sense.
Right.
That
or
can
bonking
happen.
on walls.
Yes, that can. Yeah, absolutely a thing that can happen. But yeah, it can be kind of difficult because you only have so much time on the fly in the plane to like approach these correctly. But some of them I can make really good swipes at. Other times it's really hard not to just like hit the slow angle. Like you don't really have many other options available. And also tight lines in this level and plane. Even though there's zippers around, we don't want to touch them. It's too out of the way.
Yeah, it's gonna be little Wizpig versus big Wizpig. Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
And that was Timber that time, not Bumper.
Yeah, the original intended main character of this game.
Yeah, it's his island.
It's literally his
Timber's
parents' island. Yeah, it's his parents' island, and he's like, oh, Wizpig messed it up. I gotta, like, while my parents are on vacation, time to write Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong will save the day.
Yeah, we get a whole dramatized version of that in DS version to start, like the Diddy receiving the letter and everything. It's so funny. It's the added context we needed for the deep Diddy Kong Racing lore. Alright, somebody better enjoy that oil slick cloud, but we'll never get to see it because the race is over.
Who are we
Wizpig
betting
or
on?
Wizpig?
Wizpig or Wizpig, yep.
Obviously Wizpig. I don't know. Wizpig got hard, though. I will say, you stop noticing the vehicle startups after a while. That doesn't make them that much less annoying, but, you know, you just stop feeling it after a while. It's just like, whatever, you know, just charge up my plane again. Oh, I used the boost a little bit early. I always forget about this. One thing I started doing was trying to transfer a lot of the same boosting strats from console over to DS, because they definitely have a lot of really well thought out places that they're using their blue balloons in, and it's not too much different to be doing it on DS sometimes. So I try to take some of what I know from console and put it on DS to see how well it works out. But obviously sometimes you just need a different approach too, because of the way that this game decides that balloons will work. Wow, how did the ghost balloon there?
It basically Wizpig doing a full, like, body 180 in that drift right there.
Literally, yeah.
You don't, usually when you're doing a racing game, you don't typically see your character's face, and then for a moment there, all we saw was Wizpig's face.
Yeah, it's so funny again when I'm like straight up T-boning some of these walls as Wizpig. There we go. This turn is difficult because of the little bumps in the road here. You can end up losing your angle very easily, or end up getting like sent into the air real quick because you have too much speed. And this tunnel is really hard. You gotta maneuver just the right way, but I approached it wrong, so it all ended up not too good at the end. Doesn't matter though, we're out of there. Alright, we got Boulder Canyon next, and this is actually going to be the last hover track of the whole game. So say goodbye to that.
One last microphone blow for the road.
Yup. Nice, we don't have to grab the key here, which makes this not very annoying, so we get to just do this level at full speed, which I think is pretty fun. Definitely on N64, I would say Boulder Canyon's my favorite hover track. On DS, it's still up there, but I don't know. I haven't really tried enough of them yet to really have a favorite hover track yet. Because hover is available on every level, which is unique, because no other vehicle has that distinction. But hover is available on every single track. So if you want to do like a full hover % run, you're doing every level in the game. Whereas plane is used in the least amount of tracks and car obviously comes in second. But I think it's interesting that hover is used in every level, at least even in places where you wouldn't notice. But in story mode, we only use it in 3 places. So it's like it's used a ton in ILs, but almost nowhere in normal any %. Big turn here. Just like in plane, we need to approach the circular zippers at a specific angle so that we don't get caught inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's again like this weird kind of swipe at a very direct angle that you want to take. And this is the annoying turn right here. You lose a lot of speed because you don't want to really be bouncing on upward slopes a lot. You lose a lot of speed. Only if you already have a bunch of speed going in, it'll be okay. There's Bumper, my sworn enemy this game.
It's true.
Oh my god, what a maneuver. And I still hit a log. But just not the same one. That's fine.
Oh,
Okay,
you got really close to lapping 8th place. Or last place.
Alright, so we got one more left, and that would be Haunted Woods. And it's a very short track, and then once we're done, we get to go race with Pig. In what is probably, I would say, the hardest boss race in the game.
Wizpig 1?
Yeah, it's either Wizpig 1 or Wizpig 2. Both of those are just really brutal boss fights. Punishing, and Wizpig in particular is a huge opponent and can block you from just getting around him sometimes.
Yeah, no, he is massive.
Huge bloke, hard to get around. The bloke. Move around this trees. That tree is almost like a complete U-turn. It's really cool. Now I've got a bubble on me, but I don't want to risk accidentally hitting it, so I'm gonna wait until the 3rd lap. Oh! I saw it coming and I was like, I can avoid it, I swear, but I couldn't.
It's like, nope, Bumper strikes again.
It's really been Bumper every time except one. Like, what did I do? Bumper got shooters everywhere.
He's mad he never got his own video game.
So true. Alright, and that ends out Dragon Forest. And with that, that's everything that's actually physically on Timbers Island, because we're going to race Wizpig and then go to space. So let's do that. The signpost is complete, but we got one more thing to attend to before we go to the signpost. First, we gotta turn around. Always very awkward angles to start there. Okay, so now we've been collecting pieces of a boss amulet that kind of highlight that head the whole game, and the head finally animates and comes to life, so you can enter and race Wizpig after you collect the boss amulets. And now here's a really tough race in car. We are surrounded by water on all sides, so falling in is really dangerous. And even when we're going fast, we're going to be dipping through some really slow water sections, because it's just unfortunately how this level works. So yeah, gotta be careful. And I'm still going to be hugging these kind of tight, because the way that these zippers are set up is very unfriendly. Okay, this is right here. Even going at full speed there, you still get caught in the water because of the way that they put so much water ahead of you there. Alright, we want to hit the ground right about there because that stops us from bouncing. Let's hit double zippers there. And I missed that one, but how? Okay. Gotta be careful here. Yeah, but luckily we're right near the land.
That would have been a
area,
really bad place, yeah.
That particular area is maybe the worst of it, because there are these huge walls preventing you from getting back if you fall, but luckily we just happened to be where we needed to be. So it wasn't a huge loss.
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, WizPig 1 is just harder at times because of, like, how catastrophic, you know, veering ever slightly off course can be.
WizPig 2 has some punishing stuff, but nothing in the realm of falling in the water, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, in this version 2, WizPig 2 has some extra tricks up his sleeve that really make that fight annoying. But nothing is bad. And even then, look at that, like, the water, even when you're boosting through it, you still lose all your speed anyway.
Yeah, WizPig 1 looks decidedly, like, worse to drive on than the N64 variant.
And there's a cutscene there, but we're going to skip it with a soft reset, which, if people don't know, you can actually soft reset original DS models with LR Select Start. We use it twice to skip cutscenes in this game, and it is not a thing I found out until I started speedrunning this game in, like, 2021, 2022. Alright. Back to the adventure mode. So, if you remember, we have that signpost that's sitting around waiting for us. Well, this game tells you, but N64 doesn't. But you gotta go over there and honk at it. And that, of course, causes the lighthouse to turn into a rocket ship and sends us into space. But wait, no, it doesn't send us into space. The lighthouse goes up, we reload into Timbers Island, and then we gotta hit a little cloud of sparkles. And then we go to space. I don't know why you can't just be in space after that cutscene, but we're not. And here we are. We're in Future Funland, an area of the game that many people don't know exists. There are speedrunners who didn't know that this existed until they started speedrunning the game.
Yeah, I didn't know Future Funland was a thing till, like, I was in high school replaying this game. Because I never got to WizPig 1 until, like, 2009. And
yeah,
I got to WizPig 1 without knowing how to do, like, the extra zipper either. Like, the like, releasing the, I got stuck between releasing and removing there.
Extra speed coming from a zipper, yeah.
Yeah, the green zippers. Yeah, Rainbow Boost, someone else, like, mentioned it. Yeah, I couldn't beat WizPig 1 on N64 without looking up, like, how to do it. And someone's like, yeah, no, like, there's a reason Taj tells you very early in the game, like, try releasing the accelerator before you hit a zipper. Like, he actually tells you that. He does. That's like, crazy. I think it's, like, in Dino Domain. I think he does it after you beat Tricky the first time. And he's like, I've got something for you. And he's like, he tells you that, and I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I ever release the accelerator in a race?
You see, to a casual player, that kind of stuff makes 0 sense, and I totally understand it, because it goes against everything that you believe in about a racing game, which is don't let go of the accelerator. Also, this is in a really good space, though, Sally. This level can go catastrophically wrong, but this has been a great showcase of Space Dust Valley at full speed here. This is a tough plane track because of these tunnel sections and WizPig's inability to turn. So more often than not, you're going to be slamming into something. This ending tunnel section is a nightmare. Really, really difficult twists and turns here. I'm almost certain to hit something unless I can pull a nice maneuver. It's okay. It's really tough. That's one of the hardest plane movement sections in the whole game right there. Next up is what I consider the final boss of card tracks, even though it's not even the last card track in the game. But Dark Moon Caverns, just absolute mastery of the card is necessary to be able to speed through here. It's a very twisty, turny track with a lot of really difficult stuff in it. And some really hard to hit zippers like this one. Like, you have to turn quite awkwardly to grab that zipper on time. And then when you hit that zipper, you get a bunch of speed and you try to chain it into a balloon. The whole thing. You got this tunnel, and then this. So on N64, this section, like, they shoot lasers at you the entire time, which makes it even harder. But they don't do that here, luckily. But turning is still a nightmare in that big spiral. And we've got some Sonic loops that waste time.
Oh yeah, right, I forgot this one has 2 loops.
Not 1, but 2.
When you mentioned how there was another track with loops, I was like, I don't remember this. And it's like, no, I do remember this now.
Oh, and see, like I said, that's an awkward zipper to hit right there. I used to try to drift into it, but it's decidedly, I think it's harder to try drifting into it. Definitely more of an IL strat. And even this area is like really hard. I'm like pumping the R button so that I can make tight turns there, but I don't want to hold it too much because then most people start turning. There's a lot you have to take into consideration for this part to be fast.
Yeah, someone earlier asked, like, is the TV on the ground? And we had to explain, no, it's a DS game. Brandino's physically holding a DS in his hands and has to look down at it to play the video game.
I promise I do lots of neck stretches and things for neck health in between. But yeah, I am just looking down for long periods of time.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. If you're gonna do something like this, absolutely have neck stretches and make sure you find places in the game where you can put the game down and stretch and do that. I make sure I do that with most games. This game's kind of nice because with like the balloon sections and other stuff, you have a chance to really get back in a second. The worst thing you can do is sit there and tense up while looking down, so that's something I try to be very wary of as well.
Yeah, speedrunning and going fast is good and all, but not at the cost of your health. Oh my god, the AI doesn't know what to do there.
Nope, it's so funny, yeah. My goal is just to hit the finish line, because as soon as it's over, it doesn't matter, so I always put the AI in an awkward position. Now we have Spaceport Alpha, another really, really tricky and just bonk-heavy plane track, and it's not helped by our boy WizPig's delayed turning mechanic. So for that reason, we can't hit as many of the, there's a couple extra zippers that I would hit as TT if I was ILing as TT that I'm not going to go for as WizPig because WizPig just doesn't have the handling to make it work. Yeah, like this is a kind of different setup I do here for WizPig. Also, this level has a changed music, and it's really, really cool. One of my favorite tracks in the whole game. Definitely, probably the best new track. So what they did here is that they gave this level new music, moved this level's music to Space Dust. Oh, Tiny Kong, why? I was doing so well. They moved this level's original music to Space Dust Alley. Oh, I hit my own cloud there. Just a double whammy. Anyway, they moved this level's music to Space Dust Alley. Space Dust Alley used to share a track with Star City, but now Star City gets the track, and Space Dust Alley gets this level's of music, and this level gets the new song. So it's a weird, like, reshuffling, but it works. Gotta really be careful. Oh, also, you see there's, like, a bunch of silos that say BS on them. And N64, you'll never guess what they said. Never guess what that floor that says BS said on it on N64. You just never.
I mean, it either says Rare or N64. There's no in between.
They did love putting their logo everywhere in their games.
Really did. They did.
As a
Someone
kid,
else in chat was like, well, if I had the rights to, like, use that logo, I too would put it everywhere.
It is a nice little logo, and it's like, it definitely has a certain, like, fun, like, wacky connotation when you see it for an N64 game, because you, like, kind of have an idea of what you're in for. But not really, because their games were so unique. They made a ton of them, and the run that they had on 64 alone was so impressive. This game, DK, Banjo-Tooie, just like, wow. Then you have, like, Blast Core, and Jet Force Gemini and GoldenEye. Like, they were firing on all cylinders on that console.
They really were.
Star City, goofy track, but really cool speed strats here. We're going to try to do drift around that corner, and then... There we go. Now, I just dropped some oil.
Does the DS version also have the, like, sharp insta-turn if you hit the brakes while you're accelerating and doing a turn? Okay.
Yeah, I do that, but we do it a lot less often. I only do it a couple times, but it is there. Like, you do, like, kind of a sharper turn when you press R and B at the same time. Because that kind of, like, both starts to move you, like, with, like, an R drift and, like, slows you down. It's really cool. But that part of the drifting is power sliding, is actually that we're braking. I don't know if I said that before, but we're braking while we power slide. It's oh my god, tip cup! I went full speed into that too. I boosted straight into it. But yeah, we're actually braking and drifting at the same time. Braking, drifting, and accelerating all at once in order to power slide. That's when the red light comes on at the back of the car. That's how you know I'm braking. They fixed the zipper in DS because that zipper in N64 is really finicky. It only works if you approach it the exact right way. Oh! Vengeance! Hip-Hop smacked into an oil slick right as the level ended. Incredible. He deserved that. Oh yeah, that's one thing I forgot to mention about that level. The little underpath to Epcot was not originally there. So you had to take the bridge up to Epcot, which was a lot harder. But on DS, they blessed us by giving us a very easy underpath. Now we've got the last set of balloons to pop in the whole game. I've already missed 2. I can tap this, though.
Oh, that's very funny, actually. I thought it was going to suddenly take off like the lighthouse.
I wish. That'd be funny.
That'd be a really cool Easter egg.
Gotta be careful here, because these tracks love to place balloons in extremely awkward places, like right behind you as you enter a tunnel.
Yeah, because all the entrances have these weird angles around them, so like, yep, right there.
Yeah, exactly. They love to do that, like put them like in a complete 180 behind you. I guess it's funny when you see parts of the stage up close that look like this, like these it's like electricity dot gif. When you get up close to it, you can just see it moving all choppy.
The like 3 frames per second electricity.
Exactly, yeah. Once again, all of these are probably going to be like finished right at the end because they place them just enough throughout the level that you can't ever really truly feel safe.
You know, that is actually like a 3-frame animation.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know, but I would assume that this game runs at like 30 FPS, but it might be even lower. Who knows?
It looks like 30.
I would think so, but I have a terrible eye for that stuff.
Yeah, I kind of have a terrible eye for it as well, but it definitely it doesn't look like it's 60. It definitely looks more like it'd be 30. But it's not 20 FPS like some N64 games would run at.
The original game is supposed to run at 30. It just lags all the time, so it's never actually running at 30. But that's the thing to note about the original N64 game more than this one, is that lag plays such a crucial role into how that they control that game. It's especially in like stuff like time trials, and like in the N64 game, it's famous for like turning off the music to maintain lag issues and stuff. So it's like, yeah, luckily we don't have any of that going on in this game, at least. There's a bunch of stuff with like time trial ghosts and lag. It is a whole like science. And there's people out there like Mr. Ponytail and even Leah who are doing like a lot of like science with the lag and seeing what they can do with it, figuring out the best ways to like lag the timer and like other stuff like that. The meta is really changing on N64. It's really cool to see. Oh, and this loop takes 17 years, roughly. And then after that loop, at another one.
So, hey, you want to take another 17 years?
Oh yeah, I really want to be 34 by the time this is done. Oh wait, we did it! Gold! In one
we
level!
got our gold!
All it took was the entire game until right now.
Yeah, we missed that one gold, like, earlier in the game that could have been, right there.
Yeah, I think that was Walrus Cove, yeah. This one is, I don't know how you're supposed to get all the balloons in this one. Let me show you where one of them is. There, behind the starting line. Yeah, do that one and then get a bunch of these ones. It's so hard. And then also, like, if you're a masochist, get the coins. The fun never ends.
I mean, in the last one, you got 11 out of 12 coins. Like, you were really close to getting all of them.
For whatever reason, Dark Moon Caverns is, like, just set up in such a way where it is the easiest to gold, the easiest to, like, 100%. Like, I don't know why Dark Moon Caverns specifically, but that level is, like, out of all of them, have the least trouble getting gold on or 100%ing. But the rest of them, forget about it. Like, this level is brutal. Like, you miss one and it's over. Oh, and this section used to shoot at you on N64. It no longer does on this version at all.
Thank God. Because I think that was, like, probably my least favorite thing is, like, normally you don't have a problem going through that, but every now and again you get shot, and it's not fun.
Yeah, we're actually gonna have to deal with that in WizPig 2, though, because they added these UFOs that are snipers. And I'm expecting to get hit by them sometimes, so I base a lot of my strats around mitigating that more than anything. Alright, final balloon challenge of the entire game coming up, and it's Star City. Just look how many, because this is a short track, just look how many balloons are out here in the abyss right now, like...
But yeah, we don't really have a lot of places to put these, so the void. Let's just put them in the void.
Yeah, just a void filled with balloons. Sounds like a fun time.
That sounds like someone's nightmare birthday party.
Yeah, the void with balloons. That's a creepypasta waiting to be written.
It really is.
And then there's one balloon down here in this ledge. Can I I got it. Yeah, Oh no, man, like, how were children supposed to do this? This is so brutal. It's I mean, Rareware definitely had stuff like that in their game. Like, some of the mini-games in DK64 are just relentlessly... Like, I mean, Beaver Bother is the easy one, but there's so many of them, like Big Bug Bash and stuff like that, where it's like, what? This is a game for children?
Chat's throwing a party in the void. I mean, y'all should throw a send-off party because this to these
balloons.
To these balloons because this is the last we're seeing of them.
Yeah, thank the Lord, the last balloon popping section ever. And we get silver to end it off. Now, all we have to do before we can go fight WizPig is do the trophy race for this area, which is what we're going to go do. So we get one last nice, like, sweep of the races, and then we get to finish our task. Worth noting that we already have the completed TT amulet, but we just can't open the WizPig door without completing the trophy race. But the TT amulet is on his door.
Yeah, so the any percent of this run is akin to the hundo of
more or less,
64, more or less, yeah. But the hundo of this game, because of those balloon challenges, requires you to get 100% on those balloon challenges, and that's why this is any percent, despite following basically the hundo route of N64.
Yep. And I think it's kind of cool that way, because at the least we still have two very complete adventure mode speedruns for both versions of the game.
Yeah.
Like, you could pair this with 100% in N64 and have a really good multi-run, I think, for people that could run both, all two of us.
All two of us.
But I think it's really cool to have that. It's a really cool adventure mode, and it's so unique because no other racing game I can think of has such a mode like this where you're like racing bosses and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool, and I'm glad we get to experience it all. I'll always be a fan of speedruns where you get to play a little bit more of the game.
Same.
When possible. It's not that like any percent with skips isn't cool, but it also is fun to like be able to experience the game fully when you speedrun. Because sometimes I have a moment where I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna beat this game I could never beat as a child. Like, I'm planning to beat it in a few hours tonight after work on stream. It's just like a thing I do. It's such a weird change up.
Yeah, it's definitely like a 180 from childhood a lot of the time when you get into speedrunning.
Yeah, because it's so weird to me to like beat a game and then just keep coming back and beating it. Because even as a kid, I was a chronic, like, I would always complete a game, like basically do everything, but like absolutely beat the final boss. And if for games that I liked, I would never go and do that. Because like I remember loving to replay Ocarina of Time as a kid, and I'd play it all the way up to Ganon's Tower, and then be like, oh, but then I'd have to actually finish it when I beat the boss. So I'm just never gonna beat the boss, so I would never do it. Alright, Space Dust Alley. All done. Let's have a rave over in Dark Moon Caverns next, because absolute banger track there.
Chat is jamming out right now.
As they should. This game is such, even with the DS crunch and the MIDI, there's still, all the tracks still shine very well, and the new tracks go super hard. This game, just great music. Rareware always put out top-notch stuff in that regard. I always think of like there's like an Onion article, or maybe it's Hard Drive, I can't remember which, where it's like man tasked with coming up for music where monkey rides a swordfish ends up creating transcendent piece of music. That really is like these games in a nutshell.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah, it's like, how do you create something like aquatic ambience for the monkey game? I don't know, but it's incredible.
Yeah, like, video game music is certainly an incredible thing, and like a lot of it, there are speedruns that rely on music cues. There's speedruns that like
I'm big for that. Even
Huh?
and Sonic Generation 3DS, I have music cues. Like, I usually know how fast I'm going in a level by where the music is and where Sonic is in the level.
yeah,
Like,
that's a very
like an
common thing for
example.
3D Blast runners too.
Yeah, that's how you know where the global cycles are.
Yep.
Yep, like with the worms in GG2. Yep, and know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's so cool. That's why I love games with nice, vibrant soundtracks, because I love listening to them over and over again. And yeah, Generations 3DS is a good example, where it's like a game where I've probably heard the songs in every level 40 billion times, but part of what I enjoy about that game, I hit my own mind. Awesome. Part of what I enjoy about that game is the music, so getting to hear it all the time does add a fun part to it. And it's cool, because now I kind of have a visual to pair with the music, which is like how the speedrun is supposed to be going, so I can like listen to the song like without being like speedrunning and just thinking about like, where am I in the level right now? You know what I mean? I think that's kind of cool.
So we do have a Hotfix show that's one of our newer shows called Face the Music that happens every other Thursday, not on the same week as me, but the opposite week. So the next show wouldn't be tomorrow, it'd be the 21st. And it focuses on like, you know, speedruns that heavily utilize the music, or like they talk about the music history in various like speed games. And it's just like appreciating the music of various speed games. I'm sure I'm doing a kind of disservice to like describing this song, or not the song, the show. So if there is a command for it, if Richard could please post that in chat, that would be great. Similar to my command in in the chat right now, that's !passion describes my show. But Face the Music is really cool. Go check that out. Next Thursday, and then there we go. Every other Thursday. How in the world do you pronounce her username? Oh my goodness. I only know her as Kara. Have you ever been terrible at usernames, Brandino?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm bad at regular names too.
Thank you.
I thought I used to be good at it, but then I went to college and I experienced like how hard it was for me to both memorize names and just learn people's names. I'd go for months without end, knowing people pretty well, then having a point where I was like, "What is their last name? I don't even know."
Yeah,
Like,
so it's Kara is a mime. It's actually straight up the words Kara is a mime, and I was trying to make it one word. But the show, Face the Music, it's where she hosts a sick rock show of emotions as they discuss all things video game music related. So join in to take a deep dive into the music industry, watch how soundtracks affect speedrunning, and discuss the player's journey through music. So check them out every other Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Not this week, but the following week. So the next show will be December 21st for Face the Music. So if you want to check that out, recommend. And speaking of Thursdays, there is going to be the first step tomorrow, followed by Think Fast, starting at 7 p.m. Shoutouts to Richard typoing that I would be following up with Passion Project tomorrow, and I'm like, no, I don't have anything planned. It's like, surprise, you're doing another show this week. It's like, no, that's Think Fast.
Literally, Think Fast.
And all of that starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time as well. So if you want to catch not Think Fast, the first step is doing Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, and Think Fast is doing 1 second, let me just see. It's a Super Mario RPG. It's going to be Mario RPG Remake versus the old version of it from the SNES.
That's cool. I need to play the new version. I actually, this summer, I decided that I wanted to play Mario RPG for the first time 2 months before they announced that there would be a remake. So that was funny. And I did the same thing with replaying TPYD this summer as well. I decided I wanted to replay it, and then like a month later, like, hey, TPYD HD, coming soon! So, I don't know, I guess I should have replayed different games over the summer, because then they would have remade those too.
Yeah, I really want to... I couldn't get into the original version for a few different, like, quality of life reasons, because I didn't grow up with it. So I really want to give the new one a shot, because it looks like my jam. Mario RPG, yeah.
Yeah, Mario RPG was such a fun experience, and I was so excited that they were finally doing an HD version after playing it for the first time, because I was like, this is like, I can totally see like how this game would look great on modern consoles and stuff. And some of the enemy designs are so nightmarish. I really can't wait to see them in HD. There's some freaky enemies in that game.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of freaky enemies, we're about to go race WizPig for the final time because we've just finished the trophy race. Alright, that is the last trophy race of the game. That is everything except our boy WizPig. So we're gonna go end this run off in style in WizPig Strikes Back. First we have to turn around. This room is the most awkward after coming out of the trophy race for turning around in. Alright. This is a tough race. There is an absolute sniper of a UFO that we need to worry about here. I'm gonna hold left as the race starts. I'm holding left now because I want to avoid WizPig. Otherwise, you slam straight into him. And we're gonna keep this blue balloon to get around the sniper that I'm talking about. So, you know, this is all pretty normal. Fly around the giant WizPig head here, you know, like you do. But there's this guy, and he's really, really good at shooting. And so what we do is we have to bait out shots and use that balloon to boost straight past him because he's still shooting at us even after we can't see him. That UFO takes more time to describe than I spent around it, and that's because of how many times I've lost runs or lost time to that UFO shooting me straight down. It is no joke. And also, we're doing this entirely inbounds because we can't get out of bounds here, so that's cool. N64, they always do this out of bounds, so I feel like I didn't know what this track looked like until I ran it on DS. Alright, let's see if you can go 2 for 2 here. Bait some shots. Oh, that's okay. That's why we have the boost. Let me just turn around. See, this is why this is also hard, is because you get shot right before the tunnel, and you have to, like, get an ample speed in space in order to turn around back into the tunnel. And sometimes you're just not afforded that because Wizpig is right behind you, which he currently is still right behind us. This is a tough race. Alright, let's make sure we grab 2 balloons here. We got 1, and we want to grab the second one out of the start. 2 balloons is nice. That'll help us get to our goal of getting into the tunnel faster. Hopefully we can avoid being shot down again. Last time I was playing a little too fast and loose with the bait shots. But we're just gonna try to not do that. Woo! Oh, and it's okay. He shot us as we landed in. That's an expected interaction. Luckily, we made it in, and we're all good. Navigating this tunnel is also hard because there's little lines of electricity that are like in the middle. Like we can run into that, and that will slow Wizpig down as well. But time is about to come up because we're coming up on the finish line. I'll let you know, but we're about to finish the run here in 3, 2, 1, time.
Yo, GG. Everyone get your GGs out for Brandino with that awesome run. I've had a great time just vibing here.
Yeah, this has been great. I'm so glad that we could do this. And so glad to show off this run always. I was saying before the run, but this is a game I don't think a lot of people have really been able to see very well up close and personal because it's on the DS, and for a million reasons it's a little bit hard to play, but it's cool to always get out there and show people it. So thank you so much for having me on. It's been an absolute blast to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Do you have any shout-outs that you wanted to put out there?
So shout out to the DS runners, the very few of us that are out there diligently running this game. So that's me and Leah right now. But also shout out to the Tasser Paychuk, who has done a ton of tassing in this game and is very knowledgeable about it. Shout out to the wider DKR community, the N64 community, Sweener, Giz, Trident, Obayo, Peegs, Joey, I'm trying to think of all the names, Ponytail, Morks. There's so many of you guys, and you make this game so much fun to be around, and I'm honestly glad to know the DKR community. They are just an amazing bunch of people. So, yeah, if you think you want to run DKR DS or DKR N64, you should drop by our Discord, and also check out, we have a races channel for streaming races, so DKR 64 races on Twitch, and that's where you can also check out the link for this neat shirt that I have, which is dkr64.com, which is our time trials website. But yeah, that's all my shoutouts. Thank you guys so much again for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for being on the show, Brandino. It's really great to get you following up the DKR 64 randomizer race we had last month. If y'all want to check out the VOD for this or the VOD for the episode I'm talking about, go check it out over on our YouTube, youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And just, if you're on YouTube, press the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out our live content if you want to watch our shows live over at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. So tomorrow we have at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have The First Step followed by Think Fast, so tune in tomorrow for that. And until then, though, please look after yourselves and your loved ones. Drink some water, stretch your legs, eat a snack, take your medicine or your vitamins if you need to, and remember that you are valid and deserve all the best. Send all of this wonderful positive energy over to our raid target tonight, and have a great rest of your night. Bye.